You got the touch. You got the power. Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Giant Bomb Community. Sorry, that's not the name anymore. Ghosty decided that we all decided, actually. That's now going to be called hashtag bombs launched for some reason. I don't know. Does Ghosty you want to explain this name? You want to say why?
No.
Okay. It's hashtag bombs launched. I don't know.
Dude, it's art. I don't have to explain shit.
Yeah, that's the name of it. Anyways, I'm joined by joined by Atlas coming back. Second time in a row, he's coming back, swinging.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Such a swinger.
Also, Nyx is here.
Hello. I am here.
That's
He's
his
here.
catchphrase. Hello.
Well, I mean, what am I supposed to say? Like, yo, coming at you live, motherfuckers! Bombs launched! Yeah, esports, motherfucking bikini girls, machine guns. We got fucking hats named Mikus. We got fucking giant breasts on sorceresses. We got motherfucking Shin, Megami Tenseis, and 4s. Don't forget the fucking 4s. Thanks.
That was. Thank you, Nyx.
That's probably the best intro of all time. Man.
You have destroyed.
Hope I didn't blow the mic out too hard.
Yeah, you just destroyed my ears. So
Fairly loud.
I'll
Yeah.
muffle it down when I do post, alright?
it's not going to change how I feel
I
right
mean,
now. So
No, that's true, but this is how you're supposed to feel.
I guess
Let's feel
Bombs
invigorated.
launched, bitch.
that's how I feel every week. A little bit of my soul's dying every week. Also, just some believers here.
Hey y'all.
That's. I appreciate that
Little bit.
intro. How
You got really intimidated by this stuff.
a little bit more candid, a lot more personal.
This just in. Believers here.
I've never been a
Oh
particularly loud
wow,
person. So
that's terrible.
I think I've done that one before, though.
I don't
Also, Ghost's here. I don't know.
Esports.
He's here. Esports. So when Bombs launched, like in the GBC cast before us, we talked about games. So Ghosty, you're gonna talk about games again, and we will hopefully not stop you from talking about games. So let's talk about your games that you played this week.
So I played more of Risen, which
Yes,
I tried to
Risen.
talk last week. And Risen is pretty cool, since it's basically like everything I said about the Gothic games. It's actually could be a Gothic game. Like it's literally the same fucking game, only with like the numbers peeled off. It's only a bit more streamlined and like prettier and shit. I was talking last week about Gothic games and shit. And
Does it have
Every-
Pirates Risen? I've heard it has
the
Pirates.
second game is
Second.
blatantly about pirates, but I didn't get to that.
Well, fuck this
Yep.
then.
Actually, you know what? The first game has a pretty good like pirate angle because it takes place on an island, and there's like the major town you visit is a harbor town, and it has a very non-obtrusive, like not this all-out Resident 2 stuff, but it has a vaguely pirate theme.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool. Like one of the
So,
things
What is Risen? Is it third person like Skyrim? Oh, yeah.
No, I mean, so okay, so
yeah.
So basically, it's like an open world RPG, in the kind of it's not as sandboxy as Skyrim, because for example, you don't have all the enemy spawns are placed. There's no procedurally generated spawns or anything, and the world is much smaller. But at the same time, it looks like it's crafted in a better way, and also it's casual is the wrong way to say it, but it's a bit more. The game's
It's
combat.
easier.
No, the game's combat and character creation. I mean, not creation, but progress engages you a bit more than Skyrim's, because you actually have to pay attention to enemy patterns, etc., etc.
Yeah. Okay.
And also, a cool thing, the thing I like the most about the systems in Risen is probably the character progress system, because you normally level up from doing quests, killing enemies, etc. Only instead of the usual, because like modern RPGs have two ways of handling character progress. It's either the Elder Scrolls, you jump a lot, so you get better at jumping, or you get you hit level 20 and now suddenly you can be better at hacking at people with pole arms. And instead, it goes for a system where every time you level up, you get 10 points of experience, and you can spend these points at trainers who can actually teach you a skill. And there's actually a pretty good justification, because right after you buy that skill, or the points in cash, you will actually have to listen. You don't have to listen to it, but you have like a dialogue line, etc., where the trainer explains shit to you, what he's actually teaching you. So, for example, you can learn about using swords. You can gain more strength. You can learn about prospecting and shit. So it gives us a bit more of a challenge into it, because you have to rely more on your actual like dexterity and physical skills, instead of just brute forcing your way through grinding enemies and stuff, because you won't be able to pull that shit up. And yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like
Although I do have a
How old is Risen? Is it like an older game, or as a...
The first Risen came out in, I think it's either 2008 or 2009.
2009.
So it's 2009. So yeah, so it's not really that old. And the Gothic
Yeah.
games are like 13 years old, I guess.
Yeah.
The first game is at least 12 years old. So it can't drink yet.
Is the story any good? Like, what's the story about exactly?
The story is like a bit generic. Basically, you are trapped on. It's basically the same setup as on Tomb Raider, because you're trapped on an island and some weird force is causing causing these weird storms and shit. So you can't actually leave it, because every ship crashes, etc., etc.
I feel like that's a common like storyline trope in like so many things. It's the island that's surrounded by storms that because you can't leave. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, like Lost and all that. Yeah.
So it has that going on. It takes on a very morally gray stance on. It's not really trying to play it up too much, but there's the fact, because you have to join factions. The big thing in all the Gothics and also in Risen was that you have three factions, and you perform quests, and the faction you choose determines your skill set and your storyline. So here there are mages, there are Templars, basically, who are a combination of mages and warriors, and bandits, who are warriors. But the thing that Risen has going on with its faction system is, first of all, everyone is an asshole. Because the bandits actually are fucking bandits, so hey. But they have the thing going
bandits.
on that...
What else are they gonna do?
Yeah, but the leader of the bandit faction is actually the proper ruler of the island. So he was kind of pushed into this bandit shit by the Templars who have invaded. The Templar. The interesting thing is that most games most of these open world games allow you to just completely ignore the main story. Like in Skyrim, you land in the first small village and you can basically just ignore all that shit. Maybe just kill one dragon and that's it. While here, you are actually, first of all, it's pretty hard to proceed without joining a faction, because you just won't have a good enough armor. And B, if you don't watch out, you will actually get the Templar faction is going to sign you up, because they take everyone who is not affiliated with nobody and they're just forcibly enlisting them in the Templar army. So if you just run around, you will at some point, if you're not careful and not, for example, entering the city through a back door or bribing guards, you will actually find yourself in the Templar faction, because you will simply be kidnapped by a group of Templar enemies. And you will actually have to stick with it. You will actually have to go through all this training. And you are hard locked into this faction. So they kind of have that going on, in that they're trying to kind of push the story in a natural way, not just allowing you to ignore it. So Risen is pretty cool, although the second chapter is kind of less cool, because it goes out from like the more sandboxy stuff where you can just do a lot of quests for everyone, and it kind of drops you into this. Okay, so you have four main quests, and all these 4 main quests are really fucking long, and in 3 of those quests you will end up in a longish dungeon crawl. So I'm kind of I'm kind of anxious about getting into that. But yeah, like everyone should play Risen. Like, unless if you like open world games, then you should play Risen because it's pretty cool, and you probably can get it for dirt cheap. At this point,
I would imagine so. Yes. I mean, hell, you could even get the. I'm sure you can get the Xbox version for like $1. Or something. But yeah, I mean, just the standard. Yeah, the standard price on Steam is £8 at the moment. So I don't know what it would be in the States, but yeah, I don't know. It sounds yeah, $1. It sounds kind of interesting. Do you think that it just has like? Do you think it just has like a unique feel to it, to its character progression and to its world that makes it stand out a bit from some of the more, I don't know if acclaimed is the right way to put it, but some of the sort of more influential, yeah, something like that.
It definitely has, because as I said last week, the entire Gothic series and Risen is kind of like if you took all of the open world stuff and all of the Radiant AI stuff from Skyrim and mix it in a bit with like The Witcher or Dark Souls, when, for example, you actually have to stick by your choices, etc., and you actually have to have to pay attention in combat, because I'm pretty sure that you can finish 90% of the non-story content in Risen if you are stubborn and skilled enough, because the game won't, it will throw beefgates at you, but it will not actually, make an invisible wall at some point that, dude, you can't go here. But it's just entirely dependent on what you do with what you get, because you can't just brute force your way through grinding enemies, etc.
Right.
Is it balanced so that like any build can get through the whole game? Because I guess a little bit of an issue with games where you have to stick with your guns, stick with your choices, is that sometimes they might not be very well balanced. System Shock 2 can have this problem sometimes.
You know what? I can't really say because I'm in the middle of my first playthrough, but based off what I remember from the Gothic games, where the faction really doesn't. I finished the Gothic 1 and Gothic 2 as both a fighter, a hunter, or a dragon hunter, and a mage, and it worked well. And I played with all these 3 times with no real problems. I mean, I had to adapt my game the way I play, obviously, but it was never a question of, I am completely incapable of handling this section of the game as a mage or something. No.
Okay.
Because like while you have freedom in creating a character you want, you also not as completely free to do so as in the Elder Scrolls, where you can just switch the character build middle through the game.
Wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can just figure, you know what? I don't want to do two-handed. I just want to go into magic, and then you go into magic. Like here, you actually have to make a bit of preparation and commitment to these choices. So yeah, the game is kind of tailored for you to just take one path, and you will finish the game in that one path, and you will not have an easier or harder experience, just a different one.
All right. How long is it?
I don't know. I have I'm in chapter 3, so I kind of went out of the hub world part of the game into the more like contained part, and I'm about 17 hours in. So I guess I would guess that it's about like 30, 40.
What's the combat like? What's the combat exactly like?
So basically, you have kind of your typical system from usual action RPGs, where you have one button to block and one to attack, and you also can dodge. But you have a tiny bit of animation priority going on. It's not like Dark Souls heavy, where every move is actually you have to commit to that and you will get punished. But actually have to watch out, because enemies will block your attacks, and they will attempt to parry them, and then they will attack fiercely enough to break your parry, and you kind of, for example, have to bait them. You have to lower your guard for them to attack. You have to watch the patterns when talking about animal enemies. You have to look at their animations to know when they are trying, for example, where animals are trying to, to guard you off, trying to, scare you, not to go near them. You have to recognize those, and for example, go in for a hit there. So it's much more engaged in a game like The Elder Scrolls, where you basically have two types of enemies: the ones who fling something at you from a distance, and the ones who just run straight up for you. Enemies will actually, especially human ones or humanoid ones, will actually run around and trying to, for example, flank you.
Yeah.
It's not this Dark Souls level of commitment, but it just requires a bit more focus, and as I said, you can beat pretty much everyone if you're careful enough.
Yeah. I wish anime AI would take a jump.
Yeah.
We still haven't beaten Fear's anime AI.
Well, I mean, we have, but Fear is good at tricking you into thinking it's better than it is.
Yeah.
It's still really, really good.
Yeah, it's great. It really creates an awesome kind of sense of them being good.
How is Risen's AI? I mean, you just said it's fairly good. Do they do anything tricky or interesting or?
I mean,
awesome?
if you play against human enemies, for example, they will actually try to run around you. They will try to they will try to flank you, and you actually have to watch your every move because your block is not universal. So if you get hit from the side, you will actually get that hit, and you will get staggered. So you can land in a moment where you actually get hit, for example, by 3 guys in sequence, and you just can't do anything because you are in the process of being hit. But it's pretty good. It's not it's not nothing amazing. It's clear that you can bait the AI pretty easily after you play the game a bit. It's not your run of the mill. Okay, I'm just going to run into your face and then die.
It's better than Skyrim.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but Cookie Clicker's more in-depth gameplay than Skyrim's combat, so.
Whatever. I'm not going to spend any more time defending Skyrim's combat.
Yeah. It's about tired now. It's about worn out of that.
I have one last question, which is, I'm actually downloading the demo right now, just because I thought that I'd just check it out based on what it said. Can you give us any insight into why Risen was banned in Australia?
I never heard it was banned in Australia. It's
anal probing guns, clearly.
Yeah.
You have to go
take drugs
Google that shit.
Yeah.
Drugs that make you stronger or whatever.
Oh, so according to Wikipedia, it was refused its classification in Australia due to sexual activity and drug use related to incentives or rewards.
Yeah, I read that, and it basically sounds exactly like the circumstances under which sex
I played Risen, and I don't remember ever having sex.
Does Australia have a big drug problem where, I don't know, just getting powered up by drugs is just a big problem?
They're all criminals, right? So it's like anything that sets them off.
Yeah, it's a jail.
Like a trigger. Right?
Yeah. They're all prisoners.
So all the drug use, etc. There is in Risen is that you can obtain swamp weed, which is actually not like a narcotic or anything. It's just like tobacco.
Swamp
tobacco.
weed.
Yeah, it's tobacco. So and you can bribe a couple of characters with cigarettes made out of this weed. And there's one optional sexual encounter. There's actually a quest, for which you get some XP after paying 50 gold for a whore. And there's just nothing else going on the screen. You just get a black screen for like a second, and then you wake up, and then you continue talking to a scantily clad polygon lady.
Yeah, there's any Witcher section.
How did they feel about The Witcher 2?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's fine. It's clearly.
I mean, there's clearly drug use that gives you incentives, and sex in The Witcher. So
there's a lot of sex in Witcher 2. So
there's a lot of drug use. Well, there's a lot of sex in Witcher 1 actually, more than The Witcher 2. But
yeah, much more.
I haven't played
fucking
Witcher,
you collect cards with naked chicks on them.
It's literally like a CCG based around having sex with women. I'm not kidding you.
I'm talking about a particular scene in Witcher 2, but yeah, sure.
One thing that confuses, I guess, a little thing that confuses me. None of the sexists, like people complaining about sexism in games, ever points to The Witcher 1.
Yeah, I feel like it's handled properly.
Collecting. It is. I don't know.
You played
I've played
Witcher 1?
some of it. I got to the first big town and played several hours in there on my laptop, and then I got a gaming PC, and then didn't go back to it.
Well, it's not like overly like. I guess like with the female characters, even the ones who have sex with you, are not like portrayed as over the top stereotypes, which is why I think it's not really that much of a problem.
Does Witcher 1 still hold up?
You're collecting cards that have people's breasts on them, whatever. I feel like.
I played through Witcher 1 for the first time in 2011, and I think it totally holds up. I had an absolute
great.
Yeah.
In fact, I'd say
I should probably play that since I loved Witcher 2.
It's kind of The Witcher 1 is great. It just kind of takes its time to properly start, because like the first act, it's not bad or anything. It's just less exciting than what happens once you get into the city.
Yeah.
I thought Witcher 1
it's also
is a better game in general than Witcher 2, but
I don't agree.
It's also pretty complex, pretty mechanically in depth.
Yeah. I just think they fucked up so bad in 2 that it makes it not interesting at all. Like the mutagen.
It seems to be, but like the first Witcher is about as easy to break as The Witcher 2. Like the alchemy stuff stops being relevant as quickly as in Witcher 2, and actually signs are far less fucking broken than in Witcher 2.
I thought the idea of like killing special enemies and getting a mutagen from them was kind of neat. Like how you kill the werewolf, get his mutagen, or you could not kill the werewolf. And, that's a cool idea. I don't know. It's a great game.
Okay.
Yeah,
Ghosty, you play anything else this week?
So I played a bunch of The Last of Us multiplayer.
Cool.
It's a really cool game. Like, as a person who really liked the single-player gameplay of The Last of Us, I have to say that I'm really enjoying most of my time in multiplayer, because it manages to translate what you learn in the single-player into the multiplayer part, because you actually have to be cautious, and you have to rely at least partially on what you see and what you hear and what you use in the listening mode. Although I do have a problem, because I think I'm an idiot magnet. Because
you're playing on the internet.
I'm playing the fucking Firefly faction. And I'm consistently getting a bunch of fucking morons on my team.
Or just run around and just think it's Call of Duty or something.
Not even that.
And they'll look like fucking Einstein in comparison.
Just it makes.
What are they doing?
Like, they just they fail to actually heal you when you are down. They waste time on these elaborate execution animations, which leave you totally open to fire when you are doing it in open fucking space. And they're running around alone.
You can't do that in Last of Us.
Like they're like eating.
It almost seems like yeah,
you can't do that.
Yeah, and I'm not actually like good at the game myself. Like I'm competent, but I'm not outstanding or anything. But I was in like the last 5 games I played, I was consistently the best on my team, which I found funny because I died as much as I shot people up. But I was like the only person who actually had downs and kills on my fucking scoreboard.
Sounds like you're not the only one on your team who had downs. Oh.
Wow.
Offensive, I know.
Bringing the rough jokes here.
Good job launching those bombs, Nix.
Yep.
Yeah. As per the name.
Send an email if you feel offended by that to giantbombslaunched@communitypodcast.com. That's not that.
We're still going to keep the same email, even though we changed the name.
Yeah.
That seems logical.
I'm not sure what you could say to sell me on Last of Us multiplayer, and I think maybe that says more about me than anything else.
What if I said I would pay you $1 million?
Well, outside of like incentives,
that's the only way I would play it.
Outside of like incentives outside of the game, I had my perfect fill of that sort of combat experience through the single player, and I'm not a multiplayer guy anyway.
Well,
that explains it.
Exactly.
Well, I probably should have said that up front.
That's
I
how.
I don't know.
looking-
It's a pretty unique multiplayer experience. Like Ghosty hasn't gotten into it, but you gain resources for every match, and you have to constantly do good if you want to save your colony.
Well, that's I guess that thing about feeling satisfied with the single player.
I guess.
Yeah.
I thought that
applies to me too because I've never been a multiplayer guy either. Like I like Call of Duty and Halo 3 was pretty fun. And Counter-Strike occasionally is fun.
I mean, like, I'm not spending fucking hours playing it or anything. I just, pop it. Like, I try to pop in once a daily. Although I had to stop for a moment because my PS3 is freaking out. But
freaking out, man.
That's another thing. I don't spend hours playing it. So if I jump into a random multiplayer game, I'm usually never very good.
Yeah.
Like, the thing in
It'll surprise you.
actually, the thing in the Last of Us multiplayer is that you don't actually have to be high level or anything to perform well, because it really is all about preparation and being mildly patient. Because if you're running and gunning, etc. But for example, if you're sneaking around and just for example pointing out that there's an enemy there, or just handling out supplies to other guys, or healing them, or just throwing smoke bombs and shit, then you will get there. You will start getting points, etc. And if the rest of the team is good, you will not be. If you're not trying to be a liability, you will not be. So I didn't play a ton of it.
You don't have to
but
be
it's fun.
great or anything. You just you just have to limit your dying and just be smart about playing. Like you can't go out crazy.
I also tend to play like an idiot in multiplayer games, which is why I liked playing gun game and Counter-Strike so much, because just run out there and you're still clicking when you're dead. You're back up before you even realize you're dead. That's what I liked about gun game.
Yeah, that's my favorite mode in any game, probably. In any shooter, probably. So yeah, I don't know. People should check out Last of Us multiplayer. It'll surprise you, I'll say. But if you don't want to try it, that's fine. It's been out for quite a while, so it's kind of hard to go back to.
If it was on PC, I'd totally play it, but
elitist.
Yeah, I know, but I just can't handle that fucking camera control thumbstick bullshit. No thanks. So.
Well,
the DualShock is pretty terrible, but yeah.
Well, it's not even the
DualShock.
It's just a controller. Period. No, never want to touch that shit.
I don't think I would.
Okay, that's pretty PC elitist.
I don't think I would have liked Last of Us more if it was mouse control. I don't really like mouse control for.
Well, no, it wouldn't have made the gameplay good, but at least it'd be easier to control it.
I had no problems with controlling The Last of Us.
I can't play third-person action games with a mouse and keyboard. I can't.
Yeah, it always seemed a bit just counterintuitive to me.
I don't know. I played some Saints Row the Third a week or two ago, finally on my PC. The first time I played it was with a controller, and I remember it being not difficult, but there was some challenge there. But playing with a mouse and keyboard, just headshots every time.
Oh yeah. I played with mouse and keyboard.
It makes it so easy.
I can't imagine playing those types of games in a chair or anything. I just have to play it on the TV or something.
I can imagine playing a game like Saints Row 4 or 3 or on a console, considering the performance there.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Well, not like that.
Yeah, I get it, but
I need a controller to play those types of games. For me personally.
I played Saints Row 3 on PC with a controller. I barely even tried mouse and keyboard controls.
They work well, not like Saints Row 2.
I play with the mouse and it's completely fine. There are games when I play on the PC, if it's not a platformer or something, I will use mouse and keyboard, unless it's something, for example, like Warhammer 40k Space Marine, because that game simply does not control well.
God, that game was fucked for mouse and keyboard. Jesus.
That game was you play that on mouse and keyboard. That was fun on mouse and keyboard.
Keyboard, but it was completely acceleration bullshit broken. So
Yeah, I besides the fact that the whole hybrid third-person shooter hack and slash gameplay doesn't really feel that well with the mouse and keyboard.
I thought it was a ton of fun with a mouse and keyboard.
I thought it was a great game, yeah, but the mouse controls could have been better.
Wait, which game are you talking about?
Space Marine.
Space Marine.
Oh, okay, yeah.
By the way, great game.
Oh, I like Space Marines.
How did
Space Marines.
Space Marines.
That game.
That's why I stopped
pretty
playing
so
it.
that's a pretty fun game.
That's why I stopped playing it a couple hours in.
I just love how fucking tough the guys look. They look fucking tough.
Yeah, I love 40k in general. I've played all the games, and I used to play 40k like tabletop, but yeah.
Yeah, but all the orcs going Space Marine, Space Marine.
It's so funny. It's amazing.
It is
really funny.
It was funny for an hour, and then it stopped being funny.
You gotta already be into 40k, I guess, to really appreciate the orcs, but...
Yeah, but I just wanted them to shut up.
Yeah.
Orcs.
There's a great, what's it called? The third expansion to Dawn of War 2, you can play as any faction. If you play as the orcs, your mission is to, like, stop the Space Marines in Eldar, and in return for doing that mission... The orc leader wants the Inquisitor's hat that she's wearing because he thinks it's a cool hat, and that's his entire motivation.
Yeah.
So he's like,
how does Burnout Paradise control with a mouse and keyboard ghost?
I didn't check that. I played that with a fucking
pretty decent, but I'd still recommend a controller.
Yeah, the controller.
Also, I kind of prefer just. I can play racing games on the keyboard. I don't have much problem with that, but just Burnout Paradise is the kind of racing game where I just want to lay back and just press the fucking right trigger and occasionally kind of slightly
tap the brakes.
No, not now. Just occasionally turn my car to the left or right, and sometimes press A or X just to fucking launch the nitro. Because that game is, I think the sense of speed is pretty much unrivaled by any other game. I cannot think of a game that has as great sense of speed.
Need for Speed Most Wanted is pretty good with that.
Yeah, but
it's basically just Burnout.
It's not as good. To be honest. It's not as good as Burnout.
No, it's not. Nothing. I don't think there's been a driving game I've loved as much as Burnout Paradise ever. Unless you count like Wipeout, but Wipeout's not really the same kind of game.
My favorite driving games were Burnout Paradise and Need for Speed Underground 2. But like Underground 2 can't compare because you don't have this big open map where you can just fucking truck forever.
Yeah.
Like for example, even Need for Speed Hot Pursuit managed to have a pretty good sense of speed, but just the fact that you had like finite maps, just couldn't compare. Like I literally don't do anything in Burnout Paradise for the last hour. Just blow through the city and occasionally see, oh shit, there's a ramp, and I fly through the ramp.
There are a lot of ramps in that game.
Does anyone play
there's a board?
What's that recent Need for Speed game that's basically like Burnout Paradise? Does anyone play that?
Do what now?
The newer, the one that's like there's a Need for Speed game that's kind of just like a newer version.
Yeah, I played
Unrivaled, maybe? Is that what it's called?
Most Wanted, I think.
Pretty sure Most Wanted is the most recent
Need for Speed
game.
It's kind of like Burnout Paradise.
I thought there was like an open world like Burnout-ish game. I remember Jeff talking about it, and he said it wasn't as good as Burnout Paradise, but like.
It was Most Wanted, pretty sure.
Probably
Unless he was talking about Forza Horizon, but that's not much like
Burnout. That was it. You're right. It's Forza Horizon. Sorry.
Well, that's not very much like Burnout.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Not really.
And it's also, I think Jeff gave that like 5 stars and had a lot of good things to say about it. I don't know.
I can't remember. I'm thinking of a different game.
Probably Most Wanted.
Yeah, he didn't like Most Wanted.
It's anything like Burnout Paradise at all. It's like a fucking level-based driving game.
No, the new one isn't.
Well, what's the one I'm just playing?
What?
I played Most Wanted like a week ago. I'm pretty sure it was like you choose a level and you're cops or
which one?
Right? Is that the one I'm talking about?
There are 2 fucking Most Wanteds.
Really? You got how new? Like there's a recent Most Wanted, right?
Yeah.
Yes, there is. Okay, hold on a minute. There's a Most Wanted that came out last year. There's also a Need for Speed Hot Pursuit where you do.
Oh, okay, yes, I am thinking.
Hot Pursuit.
I'm thinking of Hot Pursuit. You're right. Sorry, that is super similar.
Which is also a remake.
Super dumb that they just didn't come up with new names or something.
Okay, so is Most Wanted? Is it like an open world?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, is it good?
It's good.
Okay,
I like it a lot. The multiplayer is pretty great.
I remember Jeff saying that the single player was kind of okay.
Yeah,
he started talking about the multiplayer, and he just
multiplayer is pretty fun.
I basically wanted to know like, is it a new Burnout Paradise or not? And it sounds like it's not.
No.
So it looks like I don't need to play it. All right.
But the multiplayer, whatever.
I
like the game.
It kind of is, but like single player just does not compare.
Okay,
no, it doesn't.
Man, Most Wanted Hot Pursuit. That's fucking pretty similar. I don't know.
Also, just to make matters weirder, these fucking games already came out.
Oh, and by the way, the top rank as a criminal in Hot
They're
Pursuit
those
is
names.
Most Wanted.
Yeah.
All right, so
Anyway, I liked Burnout Paradise. I liked the control and the sense of speed that they gave, but they just didn't give me any good directions. They had the turning signal thing, but
It's true. It's true. Like the whole turn into this alley and turn into this street kind of works, but not. It's not.
yeah, they give it to you a half second afterward.
Yeah,
after you need it.
it's often the case.
Yeah, and a half second in that game is an eternity.
It's really,
I don't know.
really shitty that you have to bust the tempo because you have to press select and look at the map and say, okay, here I go left. Okay, it's just it could be handled better. Like I guess if they could make a proper GPS where you just follow the line, or you actually get like Saints Row style arrows on your fucking screen, and it would be okay.
Either of those would work. Forza Horizon has a suggested route on the bottom, so that's how you know where to go.
It
works
also has
pretty well.
It also has a GPS which talks to you and says turn
Well, yeah,
right.
that's what I don't pay any attention to the GPS.
Does it speak in a sexy voice?
Kinda.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is it Kit?
Does it speak in
Is there
Deckard
DLC
Cain's
for
voice?
Kit? Can I buy DLC for Kit from Knight Rider in it?
you should.
be
Was
That's-
there a game that had that?
I don't know.
I think
I
there
feel like
was.
there was a game that had Kit from Knight Rider as a GPS. I don't know.
Is that the best game ever? Yeah.
I don't know. Well, Deckard Cain as a GPS voice. It's pretty good. You guys read that?
That's the
I don't know
weirdest
if you guys saw that April Fool's joke like 2 years ago, but it's pretty fucking good. The
What is this April
red
Fool's
light
joke?
means danger is ahead. Don't stop. It's like, all right. Deckard Cain's voice actor is like, gotta be doing it badly intentionally, right? Like, it's gotta be intentionally bad. There's no way they're like, oh, this is really good, guys. Anyway.
As intentionally bad as Hellsing Ultimate.
What do you mean? Hellsing Ultimate is amazing voice acting. Actually, I've never heard it in English, so I couldn't tell you.
It's
You got anything else to say about
pretty
Burnout
hammy.
Paradise? Ghost yet? It's a pretty well-known game.
No, like that game is kind of oldish at this point, so I cannot think of anything super revealing and revelative about Paradise. So no.
Is it 60 FPS?
On consoles, it is. A rock
there you go.
solid 60 frames.
There you go, holds up. 60 FPS. All 60 FPS games still play great.
Yeah, it's Criterion's main.
Yeah.
I don't know if Most Wanted was 60 frames.
Nope, they
No,
knocked
it's
it down
not.
to 30 for Need for
Yeah,
Speed
it's
games.
not
Well,
for,
fuck
not
that,
60,
man.
trust me. Trust me.
Mm.
It's also fucking impossible to play on TV because everything's so like impossible to see in the distance that like you can't
Yeah,
turn.
I remember that being a problem in Burnout Paradise.
So tell us about
Okay.
Fractal.
Fractal. Okay.
Make blooms and then not war, I believe. Subtitle.
Yeah, make blooms, not war. So I played Fractal. I finished the kind of like it's hard to call it story mode because it's not really story mode. But I finished like the main part of the game. So Fractal is a puzzle game where you're supposed to make this what is it, a hexagon? Yeah, hexagonish. Those are hexagon, like clusters of 6 like parts, which are supposed to form a hexagon, and you have to clear it of a grid.
Well, it's not a grid. It is a grid. It's a hexagonal grid. So
Yeah.
There you go.
It's a grid, and it's kind of like segmented in later parts of the in later puzzles. It's kind of segmented in the specific parts. You have less space to work on. And the thing is, you click or you press on a part of the grid, and it shows you the direction from which new hexes are going to show up. So they will show up. They will show up in these directions, and they will push other ones. So actually, you're supposed to make these hexagons and also push other colored hexes to make like chain reactions. So when you, for example, so ideally you're supposed to create a new one, and then you're supposed to, from those that you have pushed by creating that new hex, you're supposed to create new chains of hexes which are going to clear the map. And it's fun because although I do have a problem with the tempo of that game in the puzzle mode, because the game has music that escalates the better you do. So it's on lower levels, it does a great job of pumping you up to actually like come up quickly with solutions to these puzzles. But like on later levels, you have to be much more careful, and often you have to rely on a bit of luck, because if you don't, for example, you have a limited number of moves. So on later levels, if you happen to if the game randomizes a poor selection of hexes already on the playing field, you're fucked, and you basically need to start over. So it kind of really loses the tempo that's built up through the music, because at some point in the game, the music changes when you get a low number of moves. So I was literally in a situation when the music basically never moved out of this small, like of this slow tempo, and then just literally moved into this slow motion tempo where it's just trying to tell you, yeah, you're about to fuck up. So that game is cool, but just it kind of, I expected it to be much more faster and much more casual than it was. At some point, it just turned into a like, maybe not hardcore, but like much more demanding puzzle game.
I found Fractal to be fucking hard as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like super fucking hard. Like it's like this peaceful, relaxing game, but it's actually incredibly hard. I'm like, man, I can't figure out what all these 6 directions are going to push my fucking lanes into, and, like, all at once. Like, God, it's timed. I'm like, oh fuck.
It's much better actually in so the tempo holds up much better in the arcade modes, because there you can just fucking click like crazy to have these huge combos. It's actually awesome just to see how you're clearing the map, but just not doing anything.
You know what's a good fucking game we need to bring back? Hexic. Yeah.
Yeah.
The one Microsoft game I give a fuck about, Hexic. God, I love that.
I played a lot of Hexic, and I really.
I used to play so much Hexic on MSN Messenger when it was on there. It's like, you don't understand. You like laugh, right? But I played so much fucking Hexic.
I had it on my Zune. I was like
I think that my top score in Hexic was like tens of millions above the second place top scorer on my friends list. Like, it's fucking ridiculous.
Jeez.
Yeah, I played it on my Zune in school when I was in high school a lot, and that was
I love
spent a lot of time screwing around with
that. Can I get Hexic on my Android phone? If I could, I'd fucking murder somebody for it.
Hexic.
You might be able to emulate it some way.
Maybe. God, I really want Hexic. No, I'll buy a Zune just to play Hexic on it. I'm not kidding.
Well, I don't know if the new ones have it, but I had it on. It was the 80 gig one.
Also, Zune's dead.
I know the Zune's dead, but I just play Hexic if I have to.
More people should about.
I'll find a way to play Hexic. Trust me.
Yeah. Zune was alright. I don't know. People hated it.
I thought it was fine.
Well,
somebody. Awesome.
A friend of mine sold me one in high school for like $40 or $50.
That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, I used that thing for 3 years.
I used to have an iPad video or iPod video back when that was like a thing. Remember? All I remember is
when everything didn't play videos.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember it was like, oh man, it's like a revolutionary way to watch porn mobile. I'm like, fucking care. Like what? Like, honestly, if you're watching porn,
that's be the marking right there.
You're missing out. All right, let's hear your.
The only way
to ruin your segue.
So the last thing I played is I pressed the left arrow key on my keyboard to dive, and then I pressed immediately after the right arrow key to kick.
Well, I got a problem with your control setup, but that's all right.
Yeah, fuck you. I did a bunch of that, diving and kicking with Nix over the past few days.
Yeah. It's a good game.
We're playing DIVEKICK.
It's pretty good.
It's fucking awesome.
So let me tell you about the Mona Lisa video games, all right? It's called DIVEKICK.
Yeah.
It's a fucking masterpiece.
That's pretty good.
just the way you can actually like come up with fucking, you know, like you can actually pretty easily analyze your opponent's movements and adapt quickly. You don't need to memorize like a fuckload of combos and shit.
Yeah.
Makes for an amazing game.
One of my favorite things with DIVEKICK is that when you've made a mistake, you know, like as soon as you jump, you're like, oh shit, I'm going to die. And it may take 2 or 3 seconds, but you're like, you've already know that you fucked up. It's kind of a cool idea. I mean, it works in other fighting games as well, but you need to have a much higher level of knowledge. Whereas in DIVEKICK, you're just like, yep, I'm fine.
Yeah, that was my fault.
You can actually tell if it's your fault or not.
Yeah.
I just love how like simple it seems from the outside, but going into it, it's really like at that moment when fighting games like turn into like magic and stuff. Like at the end of it, like one round, one like last move to go, and who knows who's gonna pull it off first. That's really my favorite part about fighting games, which I love fighting games a lot. So
Fat Mac, who have you been playing mainly as your character of choice?
I like Kick a lot. Like Jeff, I really like Kick a lot. He's like one of those characters that's like doesn't have a lot of tricks, but he's really like versatile, and I've had some success with him.
He's like the Yun of DIVEKICK. It's really good.
Yeah. Literally, I think.
Yeah,
I think they had the designs of DIVEKICK. And clearly Yun's better than Yang, so.
Yeah.
I've been playing as Dive, whom I'm pretty close to actually getting good at.
So the Yang of DIVEKICK?
Yeah.
When Dive gets...
You guys are so boring, but I've been playing as the Baz, because the Baz is fucking swag.
Fuck the Baz.
The Baz is so fun. He's like the best character for fun. He's like bad, right? But he's really fun, so I play as the Baz.
I keep fucking... I'm not used to the Baz yet.
I can shit on like anyone except for Shoals and stream as the Baz, pretty much. But when it comes to Shoals is like unstoppable. I don't know who beats Shoals. Nobody, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, Redacted does pretty well against Shoals. I'll tell you who doesn't beat the Baz, though, is Uncle Sensei. It's like he's designed to instantly lose to the Baz. Same with S-Kill, but S-Kill's just like fucking terrible.
I managed to beat Shoals in a ranked game with a Dive with a YOLO gem. Because fuck me, when Dive kicks in with Kick Factor, he's unstoppable.
Yeah, he is really ridiculous.
Like at some point,
it's pretty tough to survive that.
Like other characters, maybe not to that are also beasts, but not that extent as Dive with.
Kick is also pretty nuts when he's in Kick.
Yeah, but he's like nuts fast.
And Baz, because Baz is like literally invulnerable, and
invincible.
You die instantly, but only lasts for a second and a half. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been mostly playing multiplayer. I should go to the story stuff. It's probably gonna be good.
The story's really funny. It was written by Keats, so it's all pretty hilarious and bad.
Yeah, I'm in deep in the FGC, so I'll probably get most of the jokes.
Yeah, I mean,
I love the dialogue of the characters.
There's some pretty referential stuff, but as long as you know fighting games a little bit, you're probably alright.
Besides, even if you don't know fighting games, there's a lot of funny stuff, like Markman doing the hover hand and his fucking victory pose. Like just small touches to make this stuff really hilarious.
Okay, I was looking at the Wikipedia page, and it says that the Baz was a man born on a mountain under a blood red moon, who is so awesome he defecates lightning.
Yeah,
he does defecate lightning. Yeah.
And he talks about the storm all the time.
Yeah, one of my favorite win quotes is, "Did you hear the story about the tornado? Here's the twist: I'm the tornado."
That's pretty good. Wasn't he like a rejected Street Fighter character or something?
Yeah, he was based on
the
Baz, the rejected Street Fighter character, which is why they call him the Baz, because in the announcer's extremely questionably racist accent, he says it was the Baz.
Man, my favorite and worst part of that game is those fucking those announcers.
Dude, what about Kung Pao? Is all Kung Pao clips?
Oh,
who speaks only in Kiai. I would actually
feel really bad because I really like those like China overly racist Chinese like sayings. Like I just laugh so much at that. It's funny.
Also, Kung Pao is voiced by a dude.
Yeah.
This fucking just.
Pretty much. That's pretty much Kung Pao.
I just wish she spoke this way in fucking dialogue.
Yeah.
Like her win quotes was nothing but "Oh yeah." I
like some of Uncle Sensei's quotes. They're pretty good.
Yeah. Also,
No,
the tip screen whenever you load the game,
Oh yeah.
and the fact that the loading icon is the Twitch stream icon, and the loading screen always chokes up a bit before it comes up.
Oh yeah. So speaking of the Twitch loading icon, one of Stream Monster's supers
Yeah.
is that he glitches out and it just shows the Twitch loading icon on him while he goes invisible for 2 seconds. It's like pretty fucking funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, his pick quote is swag, swag, swag. So I approve of Stream. That's pretty funny.
Yeah. Fucking stream monsters over there. Jeez.
It's a fucking great game.
Yeah, people should play it a lot.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
$10. You should.
I'm tempted to get it on PC because like all my Steam friends are just playing that. I should get it on PC.
You should.
I like playing on controller, but I don't know. Is it good on keyboard?
It is.
It's 2 buttons, like whatever, right? But
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I use A and X on my controller just because it's easy. My friend uses a stick on his PC because he's crazy, but he also is like the number one in the world, so I can't really.
That's the stupidest thing ever. You need a stick for 2.
Hey man, he's like top ranked, or at least he was. He's number 1 or 2 right now, I think.
Alright. Was that your friend that like?
It's just my friend who worked on. Well, his roommate did the original concept for the game, so yeah, he had pretty much a huge advantage. He also did most of the balance testing and wrote a bunch of the lines.
Yeah. Hope this game's at Evo or GEVO at least.
Yeah.
I think it is.
I don't think they announced them
DIVEKICK
until next year.
It probably will be because
I hope
this
so.
game came out of Evo basically.
Yeah.
The Skullgirls was at Evo, so this could get an Evo.
Yeah.
Well, it's better than Skullgirls. There you go. No, I'm kidding. Well, I'm not really kidding, but
I haven't played Skullgirls.
Skullgirls has amazing animation, and I think it looks great. I just don't care to play it personally.
I haven't played it, so I don't know.
I like this. I play Skullgirls, but I'm not really a fan of the whole. I don't like the control scheme of Street Fighter, so you have to actually rotate the stick and shit. I'm not a fan of that. So.
Hey man, at least it's not King of Fighters, where like every super is like half circle back, half circle forward,
Yeah.
triple rotation, charge down, then up and kick, and you're like
I just prefer I just prefer the more standard Tekken or Mortal Kombat style of just putting out combos.
I do like the Street Fighter style, just because like I can do the Dragon Punch motion and the quarter circles pretty easy, but yeah.
Yeah. Even Mortal Kombat had a little bit of that, but not as long.
Yeah, not even half
a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm someone who can execute Shun Goku Satsu like every time, so it's not that bad, but yeah.
Son Goku Satsu.
That's pretty easy. It's just
Dragon Ball
forward, LK, high punch. So.
Son Goku,
No.
get it?
No.
It's funny you bring that up. The only fighting game I ever really played was the Budokai games. 1, 2, and 3.
There are worse games to play,
okay.
like Tekken.
Those are
Those are pretty fun.
Not
I mean, I wouldn't call it like a high-level fighting game, but they're pretty fun.
No.
I think the third one actually got really good reviews, and as far as I can tell, remains pretty much the best
Yeah, I think
Dragon
it's
Ball
great.
game ever
I don't
made.
know. I think it's a lot of fun for Dragon Ball fans, especially.
The best
The amount
Dragon
of
Ball game.
characters you can play as is really cool.
The best Dragon Ball game is the Dragon Ball Evolution game for the PSP.
Has anyone ever actually seen that movie?
I did.
I've seen it. It's really, really bad. You should not see it.
It's
It is really bad. If you care about Dragon Ball Z at all, it'll give you a heart attack or something.
I don't know how you could make a Dragon Ball movie.
They did. They
Much
really
better.
did.
Much better than that.
The best joke in that movie is that the character Goku's hair is always spiked up, so when he's combing it, it just always stays up. That's the funniest joke in that.
I just remember how fucking weird the dialogue and acting is. Like Goku at some point has a dream where he sees everyone die.
Yeah.
And he just lists off to like I think it's the spirit of his grandpa, right?
Yeah.
It's talking to him. I saw Bulma die, and Chi-Chi, and he just leans in at some point and just whispers, "And Yamcha." Just fucking what the.
Like, so that movie is
the movie
like
based on Journey to the West, or is it like a different story?
It's based on Journey to the West. No, not the, I don't know about the movie, but Dragon Ball.
I know Dragon Ball is, but I just don't know if the movie was.
The movie's basically like high school drama,
then
Dragon Ball.
The fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, we
has
have
a black
line you like Journey to the West. You might as well just do it.
Mm.
Oh well, whatever.
It's like Tokyo Drift bad, but
just watch DBZ Abridged instead.
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
They
Don't
say
watch it.
Nobody screws
Don't
Yamcha
watch
but
it.
life.
I suppose I should talk about some games.
Yeah,
what you play?
maybe.
So let's talk about
Yeah.
a game that's not really a game. Gone Home, one of the greatest games I've ever played in my life. You should play it. So, a game that you
Yeah.
should play, Dead Space 3.
I like Dead Space 3. I don't
Game's
know.
pretty fucking okay at best.
I like it a lot.
Seems to have
Well,
some
I-
really
I
good
like it.
ideas.
I
It's not
until
always.
all the bosses are the same fucking thing, and like there was, well, they're not really. There's like 3 bosses, right? There's the spider thing you fight like 4 times. It's not a spider, it only has 4 legs, whatever. There's the giant drill, which is probably the dumbest boss I've ever fought in a game, and there's the giant anus, which is certainly rivaling the drill, but it's maybe not as bad as the drill.
And the spoiler boss.
And
Giant
fight the
anus.
final boss, who is probably the greatest, but also not really fun to fight.
Yeah.
I mean,
The
I don't
mere
wanna
thought
spoil the
about
end.
Fighting that boss is much better.
The ending is probably one of my.
Yeah,
One of the
I don't
worst.
want to spoil the deep and complex story of the game, but like it's pretty fucking bad. Like, and we're talking like I like the story of Dead Space 1 and 2. I mean, I realize it's cheesy and stupid, but like I still kind of thought the marker stuff was neat. But this one was just like, oh.
It takes it to the nth degree with the marker stuff.
I think the romance subplot is just like the stupidest fucking thing.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's like, oh, your boyfriend hates me because I used to be your boyfriend, and then I killed your boyfriend because he shot me, and then you.
Also, I
guess,
just
spoiler,
love how
just
they made
kill
like
him.
Ellie Langford.
And
was
like
a-
30 seconds after that happens, Ellie's like, it's alright. I love you anyway, Isaac.
It's amazing how they fucking ruined that character.
Which one, Ellie or Isaac?
Ellie.
Oh, yeah.
Ellie was just Ellie was a cool female character
Yeah, I thought she was
in
okay until the
previous Dead Space. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like she was just a fun character, and it just turned this into this just
They all-
completely
They
nonsensical
also gave her bigger
arrogance.
boobs. They also
Yeah, I
gave her
remember
bigger
in Dead
boobs, I think.
so
Yeah, I think they gave her bigger boobs in Dead Space.
I just
3,
remember in Dead Space 2 her going, "You owe me an eye, you bastard."
Yeah. She kind of like lost her accent in the third one, too. I mean, it's still kind of there, but it's not really.
I wonder if it's different.
It's not different. I don't know.
The same act.
See, the reveal with Nicole in the first game was like so good, and it's like they shouldn't have given him another
Yeah.
love interest. Like, that's
Yeah.
just left it at that.
She
Yeah.
wasn't really. I don't know if I really want to say she was a love interest in 2. Like,
No,
It wasn't. It's
hooked
kind of like
they hooked
implied
up.
off screen. This is the dumbest part.
They hooked up
Well-
and broke up off screen in 3
Yeah, they got together and broke up off screen apparently.
because Isaac just didn't want to return into this marker nonsense, which you can understand
Yeah,
considering
you understand. He'd be
he
like
has,
having sex, and he'd be like, the marker! It's just like, fucking stop.
yeah.
Go back to your shitty apartment, Isaac. You fucking suck. Jeez.
By the way,
He has a shitty apartment. I just want to say that.
Yeah, I know, everything's like fucked up. He's got like that ripped picture
like-
of him and Ellie. You know.
He fucking did. He went to hell and back, and all he
So-
got was like a shitty apartment.
when they first talked about Dead Space,
Back to hell and back.
when they first talked about Dead Space 3 being on an ice planet, I thought it might be pretty cool to just change the main character
Cool.
completely over to Ellie, and have like, I don't know, have maybe some cool little gadgets you could do with an implanted eye or something.
Yeah, that'd be better than whatever the game was. So.
EA wouldn't let you play as a female protagonist. I doubt.
Yeah, EA's not into that. They're like,
Screw EA.
if she kissed a guy, that'd be super gay, so we can't let that happen.
That was actually Capcom.
Yeah, I know it's Capcom, not EA, but still. I still can't believe that. Like, really? Like, having a female character kiss a guy is too gay because a player is playing as a female? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, God. But having 2 girls kiss is totally fine because, like, lesbians are hot.
Yeah, that's hot, right?
And then
Look, I
and
like
then
lesbians
Capcom
as much as
released
anyone, but, like, I also
That is
totally
pretty
find
hot.
it's, like, hetero kissing. It's not gonna, like, make me feel gay. Not that I care about being gay anymore.
What did you ask, Believer?
And then Capcom went and made Dragon's Dogma, where you could accidentally romance a dude. Or
Yeah, well, it's just really fucking funny.
Yeah.
Was there some big forum post that the guy who accidentally romanced the shopkeeper?
Yeah.
he was like, yeah, there was. He's like, I don't have anything against gay people, but I didn't mean to do this.
Masterworks all, you can't go wrong. That's what I'm saying.
And people complain about Dragon Age 2, right?
What a great game. Amazing.
By the way, I cannot stress this enough. If you want like a proper Dead Space experience while playing 3, just play the fucking DLC because it's amazing.
Or you can play Extraction, because that game's actually really good.
But the DLC to Dead Space 3, like, is actually scary, actually has all of that hallucination stuff, and, it's super fucking bleak.
Yeah, I'm interested in playing it. I still want to buy it, and they didn't give it to me for $1, so maybe later.
Yeah. That's
Like,
true.
if you remember, like...
Tiers I don't actually need to talk a lot about. Mario and Luigi is pretty good. It's so slow, though. It's so fucking slow.
Wait, which one are you playing? The new one?
Yeah, the new one. It's just, like, super fucking slow. Like, it's a good game.
Oh, yeah, it's an RPG.
Luigi's, like, really played up as, like, really kind of surrealist, weird humor, which I kind of like, actually. It's really weird. But, like, it's fucking weird. Like, trust me. Persona's a good game. I've only played a couple hours of it. There's the Saints Row 4. Yeah, has anyone played that? Nope. It's fucking good. Play it. I'm not going to spoil anything, so there you go. DIVEKICK got it. Final Fantasy 14. Great game. It's an MMO, so like I said, don't like MMOs. Guess what? You're not going to like Final Fantasy. Risk of Rain is a game I'll actually talk about. So imagine. I kind
of want to hear about Saints Row 4, but sure.
Well, what am I going to say about Saints Row 4 other than it's like Saints Row 3, but like with cool shit? Also, what I will say is that if you haven't played Saints Row 3, you better play Saints Row 3 before you play 4, otherwise you are not going to fucking get it.
Yeah.
Risk of Rain, so...
Yeah, Risk of Rain.
Now that is a cool fucking game. Alright, so item system from Binding of Isaac, more or less. Plus, wave-based survival, platformer exploration thing. I don't know, it's a very cool game. It's only an open beta right now. Well, it's actually closed beta right now, but like it's really already a ton of fun to play. There's a bunch of different, you can choose like a character class. So unlike Binding of Isaac, let's say, where you just shoot tiers, you have 4 abilities per class. You have your basic auto, quote unquote auto attack, if you want to go for the Dota terminology, and you have your 3 skills, each of which has a cooldown. Some characters have like a dodge move or a teleport or a blink, which I guess that's a bit of a Dota term as well. But other things like, a piercing shot or a charge shot or planting mines or shooting grenades, various things that damage enemies. And so the basic progression of the game is you want to find a teleporter, activate the teleporter, boss comes out, you got to fight a bunch of shit, kill the boss, kill the shit, and go with the teleporter. While you're doing this, you get XP, and so as you level up, you get stronger, surprise. And as you get gold, you can use it on various things like opening chests or opening imp jars, which are basically a chest, but you have to kill a bunch of imps first. It's whatever. Or betting on shrines. Shrines are like chests that cost less, but every time you use one, it costs more, and you only have a chance of getting an item, not guaranteed. And there's a bunch of different items that are very cool. One of the items I kind of like is you get a pair of dice, and every time you fail a shrine, you get increased crit chance. And so at some point, I had and it stacks up. So like if you fail 5 times, you have a 5-sided die, which is a huge boost to crit chance. And so at one point, I was like not using shrines anymore because I didn't want to risk getting something from one, since the 5 crit chance boost was way better than whatever item I was going to get, which is kind of an interesting mechanic. I just think it's a great design game, very cool. I'm really excited to see what they will do when it comes out. And finally, Tales of Xillia. Fat Mac, have you beaten this game?
No, I have not yet beaten it.
Well, it's a good game. I beat it. I was playing on Mila's side, or Mila, I guess in Japanese is why they call her Mila and not Mila. She's a great character. I think she's really funny. There's a bit of a twist near the end where it's like, oh shit, but that's Tales.
Don't spoil it, please.
I'm not gonna spoil it.
Is she actually a dude?
No.
Kidding.
Well, no. But that's closer than you might think.
Well,
It's closer than you might think, but no, she's not actually a dude. There's also, of course, the famous line, "Teach me about BAZONGAS!" Which is...
oh my god.
I got to that part, and I was like, that's pretty good.
what?
Teach me about BAZONGAS. It's in there.
Give me context.
Okay, so let me back up on BAZONGAS here. So Mila, as a incarnation of the god Maxwell, is kind of like not familiar with human terms. And so at one point, this little girl named Elise, who has a little kind of talkative pet stuffed animal creature, mentions that Mila's like, she's getting really muscled out from all the fighting, and he's like, "Mila, you're soon gonna have yoked out BAZONGAS." And she's like, "Sounds great, yoked out BAZONGAS." Everyone else is like, "Mila, I don't think you know what that means." But,
can we rewind this a bit? The god Maxwell. Maxwell does not sound like a name for a god.
In the
That's true.
Maxwell is the god of all elements, lording over the 4 spirits of Gnome, Sylphid, sorry, not Sylphid, just Sylph, Undine, And
but his name's Maxwell.
Maxwell is the dude. It's just a Tales thing. I don't know. I didn't write the fucking story. It's in all the games though. So Maxwell is the all-father of gods, whatever, and she's the physical incarnation of him. At one point, two of the older male characters are discussing let's say, the fires of manhood is what the term they're using, and they're talking about zombies. And then the dude, who's the main character, the guy version that you can play as, is like, I don't understand. What are you talking about? And they're like, when you're older, you'll understand. And then he's like, you have to say it with passion if you want us to teach you. And so he says, teach me about bazongas. And it's pretty good.
Yeah, that's my favorite line. Yeah, teach me about bazongas.
So I'll talk about what actually is cool with the game, which is the system they've put in place where you can... So anyone who's played Tales games, the combat's like action RPG, tap X to slash, tap circle to use a super move, and you can use, up in circles a different super move, down in circles another super move, whatever. So the cool thing in this game is that each character has their own kind of unique twist on special moves, or not, depending on the character. I'll explain in a moment here. So Jude, the main male character, has what's called flash dodge. Don't actually know what it's called. Something like that. Anyway, when he dodges, if he successfully dodges a move, he will teleport behind the enemy and get bonus attacks. Mila has like a kind of like she has a physical version of each of her spells, but she can also hold the button to cast a spell. So you could use like Wind Slash by tapping circle, or you could cast Cyclone by holding circle. It's kind of a neat mechanic. Other characters have like charged their spells, or can kind of change their spells after it happens by doing certain things like pressing a button, as you may expect. Anyway, the cool thing with combat is that you have what's called links. And you can link with any other character in your party. Each one has a different linking effect, and you can share certain attribute effects between links if you set them in your skills. Whatever, that's all complicated, don't worry about it. The main focus is that as you progress through your overlimit bar, which is kind of a staple of the Tales series, where you fill up the bar, you go into overlimit, which is like, take no stagger damage, do more damage, have unlimited specials, stuff like that. You have to perform a link art with one of your team members by casting a special move, and they will cast a special move at the same time, but they're AI, so they always do it, whatever. And it'll give you like a super move, like, let's say I cast Wind Slash and Jude casts some shit. I don't fucking remember any of Jude's attacks, okay? Don't worry about it. You cast
Demon Fang.
He casts a Demon Fang, even though this is not the right one for a combination. It'll do, like Ultimate Wind or some shit, and you'll fire like a wind laser, and then, you can, and then basically you need to do one of these each time your bar fills one of the 5 segments, and it'll allow you to move on to the next segment of the bar.
Laser?
And don't worry about it. And when you reach the top of the bar, it goes into overlimit, where you can kind of spam chain your combo attacks together, or execute a high art, which is like a even more super move. Well, I don't know. The linking mechanic is very cool because you can do all these different attacks with different characters. Some are heals, some are buffs, some are AoEs, some are targeted stuff. It's just kind of nice flexibility and adds a lot to the depth of the combat that is maybe a little lacking after playing like 9 Tales games like I have or whatever. And the other cool thing is that the bosses often come in pairs, and they will link with each other and do the same thing as you, which is kind of a neat little addition to the gameplay. So, Fat Mac, how far are you in Tales of Xillia?
Probably about 5 or 6 hours in.
What's the latest thing that's happened? Without spoiling too much, just say like character names. So.
Kind of met my 3rd and 4th people and just going around town and doing some fighting and stuff.
Yeah, okay. I know there's the difference between between Jude and Xillia is seems pretty narrow, because like there's 2 parts in the game where you're split up from the rest of the party as Mila, and I assume that's when you're playing as Jude doing some shit, but they're really kind of minor, which is fine.
So if you play through the game once as one of them, is there any reason to go play through it as the other?
You can always nuke plus it and get 5 times experience and bring your devil arms and just crush everything. Yeah.
Well, I mean, as far as story and locations go.
Yeah, there's one major split, but I don't know if it's really worth replaying the whole game for. I mean, it's not a hard game.
Is it a long game?
No.
Yeah. Well,
not really, not at all. I beat it in like 3 days.
How long did it take you?
Okay.
I don't have a time for you, but I'd say less than 30 hours.
Okay.
It's pretty short game. Like Tales of Xillia took me like 60.
Yeah, that's pretty short for a Tales game. What to say?
Yeah, it was very surprisingly short and also surprisingly easy.
Yeah.
Because there's no real like big like in Tales of Symphonia. Once you finish like this big storyline arc, there's like huge like, all right, now we gotta go do all this shit by doing the harder versions of dungeons, and like it was quite a long, I thought, satisfying game. But this one kind of, I feel like it ends a little bit early. The final boss is also super disappointing, but whatever.
In Xillia, yeah, I haven't beaten it yet.
Yeah. Anyway, it's still a good game. I'd play Tales of Xillia too for sure. I mean, I'll play any Tales game. I'm pretty much a sucker for that.
Yeah, me too.
Oh. Speaking of games that me and Fat Mac played, let's talk about SolForge.
Yeah.
So what do you think about SolForge? Actually, I gotta log in and get my bonuses. So you talk about SolForge for a sec.
Sure. So Hearthstone's out, a beta, closed beta for.
I also want to play that.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Next is in SolForge.
Shh. I'm getting my login bonus. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I gotta do that too. So SolForge is a TCG online game, basically a trading card game online. It's free to play right now. It's currently in beta, early access, or Steam. It's I haven't played a lot of card games like these, so I don't know if this is new or anything. But Nick's is hopefully here to show me the right way about it. But it's pretty cool so far.
It is basically
I don't know.
as derivative from Magic the Gathering as you could get if you took away mana, which is not a bad thing because Magic the Gathering is really fucking good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I don't know if the leveling thing's in Magic the Gathering.
No, I mean there are cards that have levels, but it was like a one-time mechanic.
Yeah, so basically, you get these level 1 cards, and they're like standard cards. But once you play them and wait 4 turns, then you get level 2 cards, which do different things and get new. You get a stronger attack and attack. So you kind of have to think about which cards you're going to play at first, and decide on which card like really deserves like your leveling up stuff. So you kind of have to play smart in that way. I'm not really a card game guy, but it seems pretty good so far. It's free to play, so you obviously have to pay money to get a lot more cards than you regularly can by playing. But you can play, get your lot. Yeah.
So the interesting thing about the game is kind of like it's like a decision between, do I want to use this card now, or do I want to use this weaker card now because I know it'll be leveled up later and way better than this one. And my issue with the game, I mean, I enjoy the game, but my issue would be that the grand strategy of it is like so grand that it's almost impossible to know what you really need to do. Because like, let's say I want to have a level 3 Sparkforge Titan. I can play my level 1 Sparkforge Titan on turn 1 and not know if I'm going to get my Sparkforge Titan level 3 until like turn 20. And that's not really going to be helpful against my opponent's strategy if I have no idea what he's doing. I'm like, yeah, do I really want this Sparkforge Titan 20 turns from now? I don't know. I probably do. It's really fucking good. But I don't know, right? And so in Magic the Gathering, it was always about balancing mana gain and drawing cards with what you're playing. Whereas in this game, you always play 2, and you never have mana, and you never have to worry about draws because your hand is recycled every turn. So it's almost like, do I want to pick out the best cards of my hand, or do I want to play these ones that are maybe more useful now? I don't know. I feel like this strategy is kind of almost too opaque to actually really have a tight strategy, and it's more about building a deck that just has so much good shit, you're going to be hard-pressed to lose, which is what I've been trying to do.
Yeah, I've noticed that I've noticed that a lot in online, in which the best players that have probably bought all the strongest cards probably are going to win that match no matter what. Like, even if I have my strategy, like, even like my strongest card probably won't match, their Kriogos or their other strong ass monsters that I don't have yet.
I think I have. I don't have any legendary cards. I have 1 heroic or 2 heroics, and like they're both like, well, one's completely useless, and the other one's like unbelievably amazing. So take that as you will.
Yeah.
And there are definitely some cards that are just like definitively better than some other ones. They're just really poor design. I think that it's probably just a balancing thing, which will change later. But if I have a card that's like a 4/3 at level 1, a 6/4 at level 2, and like let's say a 12/8 at level 3, and it has no special effects, like, okay, sure, right? But then I have another card that's like a 5/5 at level 1 and has, when you play this card, it gets +1/+1 for every card in your hand, and then increase that per level. It's just like there's no reason you should ever not play that card instead of the other one. So the answer for me is that I don't put the other one in my deck because it's a piece of shit. But I don't know. I think with some balancing, it could be a very interesting game. I'm definitely very, very interested in playing Hearthstone as soon as I can. So I'll compare the two.
Yeah, I
when
want
I
to
get a
play
chance.
Hearthstone. Yeah,
right now, I
Atlas,
recommend.
I don't know.
I mean, if money is a concern, yeah, SolForge. If money is not a concern, just play Magic because it's way better.
Yeah, Atlas, I don't know if you're like a big Magic guy, maybe you want to play this one. This seems pretty awesome.
I watched the quick look of SolForge, and it definitely sounded intriguing. Yeah, I played I ended up playing a huge amount of Magic 2014 over the summer, like 100 hours or so, just for some reason. So I don't know how much more CCG I have in me right now, but I'm definitely interested just to sort of branch out a little bit more, and see what a different spin on the sort of the basic mechanics that sort of Magic the Gathering is built on, and sort of established as a genre basically.
The nice thing is that you can actually build a deck in this game, whereas in Duel of the Planeswalkers you basically are kind of stuck with the pre-made decks, which I always dislike.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I really could say positively about this game is that you get to make your entire deck. So.
Yeah, I've definitely had a very limited Magic experience because of that.
And hey, you can't get mana screwed when there's no mana. So
what are the free to play elements like? I mean, I know Drew went into that stuff a little bit in the quick look, but
so you get three rewards per day. You get your login bonus, your first win bonus, and your third play bonus. And each one has a chance of giving you a pack or a single card. Up to, I believe, the regular packs, like the 10-card packs. Actually, yesterday I got 3 10-card packs, so that was 30 cards for free, which I thought was pretty fucking good. Plus 1,800 silver per, or like 1,900 silver. Like it's like 1,800 to 2,000 silver per stuff, which basically translates to 2 more basic packs, or just 3 cards each. So I got 16 cards per login bonus yesterday, which is ridiculous. I think it's just like some sort of randomization glitch that gave me 3 packs in a row, but hey, whatever. I'll take it. And then today I got just a regular 3-card pack and then some silver as well. So it's not that bad. I have a shit ton of cards I'm not using already. But it's like you're gonna have a shit ton of the common cards, and then you're gonna really want the rares and the heroics, legendaries. They're gonna kind of be the decisive aspect of your deck. Like for example, the Sparkforge Titan I mentioned. I have 2 of them. And the whole thing with the Sparkforge Titan is that it becomes a 20/20 level 3 creature with 10 armor, meaning that you have to do a minimum of 10 damage or 11 damage to even do a single damage to his actual health. And then of course my deck is all built around making him breakthrough, which means that you do damage to the player once you kill something, you do the remaining damage that you didn't use to kill the creature to the player. So I can like just buff up my Sparkforge Titan, have like a 54/54 10 armor beast just smacking my opponent the whole time. And that's kind of like my go-to. As Fat Matt can attest, he may have lost to that a couple days ago, but he's not here, so you'll have to trust me on that one. But it's
left for a minute.
I definitely recommend. I mean, it's free to play, and it's totally like it's not like. I mean, it is. You could argue it's pay to win, but I don't really think that's true. You just gotta play more. And that's my real issue. The strategy is kind of like not transparent enough to know whether me being a better player would beat someone with just definitively better cards. I assume not, because some of the cards are so ridiculous. Like there's this one card everyone's complaining about is one that gets stronger each time it kills something. So all you do is buff the shit out of that thing and then protect it, and then you basically can't lose because it'll kill everything and it'll get stronger every time it does.
So the one I'm most curious about on your list is Saints Row. Like, how does that compare to Saints Row the Third? It's
really, really good. I can't recommend it to anyone who hasn't played Saints Row the Third, but it's really funny. A lot of it's referential to Saints Row, but the first mission is just so fucking good. I don't even know. It's just so amazing. Like you said, you played a bit of Saints Row 4, didn't you?
No, I said I played some. Saints Row
okay, Third. Yeah. The first mission in Saints Row 4 is. Like, I don't want to say anything about it because I don't want to spoil it. It's just too fucking good. But let's just say they parody a lot of modern games in a really funny way. I mean, that's kind of Saints Row in general, but this one is very specifically funny.
Is it pretty much the exact same type of humor the third was?
More or less, but it's more kind of like Well, third is just kind of like funny in general. This game's kind of like funny in a referential to video game sense. It's more, I think it's more like tailored to my interests, I guess I'd say, because I love games and movies. Also, the Matrix references are super heavy-handed. Like, you better like the Matrix, because there is some fucking straight up shit. Like, and not just the aliens coming in, not just the like jumping into the chest. There's like, you know, in the ship, obviously, the jacking in and jacking out, the red pill, blue pill joke. Like, it's all in there.
I don't think you can parody the Matrix without a red pill, blue pill joke.
Yeah, it's fun. It's all.
I've seen the Matrix. Like, I've seen the Matrix 1, but I don't remember anything about Reload.
Yeah, I watched that film.
Well, whatever. The Matrix 1 is the one I'm talking about anyway. No one cares about the rest of that shit.
Yeah, but I watched that film 10 years ago, and I really don't remember that much. I didn't particularly like it.
Okay, I love the Matrix, so I recognize all this stuff. But like the jump animation, like the charge up for the jump animation, is the pose that Neo does when he does the super jump at the end of the Matrix. Like, it's just they obviously love the Matrix, which is kind of cool. Cause so do I. But I mean, if you're like, oh fuck the Matrix, then you might be a little sour about some of the jokes. But I thought they were all really well done.
Yeah, because I don't know, some of the humor in Saints Row the Third was pretty funny.
Yeah,
some of it I really didn't like.
I really liked all the humor in this one. I like the Pierce and the car singing stuff. I always found kind of corny, but like they actually put a good twist on it in this game. I really wish I could talk about it with you guys, but like there's a good twist on the second time that they sing. It's just like so good. Oh god, like they make fun of themselves, which is really good. And there's also the loyalty missions are just amazing. So you guys know what My Immortal is, right?
Yeah, I do.
All right, well, let's just say there's a loyalty mission that is a lot like that, and that's really fucking funny.
I can't wait to play the game.
Yeah, it's really, really good. I definitely
really fucking can't wait to play it.
If you played and liked Saints Row 3 at all, you will love Saints Row 4, like, no question.
Yeah. It just came out at a bad time for me, because college is starting up, and I had to pay for books and stuff, so I couldn't afford it.
What I do is, like, I don't buy any of my books until I've already been to the class and been like, can I get all this stuff for free? Sometimes I can. Well, it's like, 'cause I take English, right? So there's a lot of not open source, but there's a lot of like public domain text.
You go to the library and pick up about 2/3 of your books.
Well, that too. Or I just go on like, you know, public domain like literary sites and be like, yep, all right, Shakespeare's plays, got it.
Yeah, is Beowulf here? Yep. Okay, good.
Exactly. I don't know. My favorite Shakespeare play is Hamlet, because I like Hamlet, but I don't know. I'm mostly a fan of his poetry, because I don't think the plays are all that.
I haven't actually read a ton of Shakespeare in my English.
I recommend the poems, but if you really want to read a play, I recommend Hamlet.
I love how seamlessly we were able to transition from Saints Row 4 to Shakespeare.
Saints Row 4 is like art to art, right?
Games. That's what I'm saying.
We're just seamlessly transitioning from one art piece to another.
It's like the Shakespeare of video games, so there you go.
Yeah.
I am in a very weird position about Saints Row 4.
Well, did you like 3?
I liked 3 quite a lot.
Then you should definitely play 4.
But I only played Saints Row 3, I beat it a couple of months ago. Like, do you think if I did... I suppose I always worry in the back of my mind that, you know, you can sort of have...
Like, is it too much of the same, right? I know what you're saying.
Yeah, you sort of get overload of one thing. And, you know, Saints Row is a very specific thing. And...
well, I mean, the fact that you have superpowers really changes the open world. Once you get infinite sprint, it's like... Well, this isn't Saints Row 3 anymore, because now I just fly everywhere. But,
yeah, like, the idea of Saints Row the Third with superpowers is what really made me pay attention to SR4.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend getting the infinite sprint as fast as you could possibly do it, because not having it sucks.
Yeah. Okay, so the one thing that bums me out about Saints Row 4 is that all of it takes place in a simulation, so these powers don't go to the real world, right?
Spoilers!
There might be a point where you have some powers in the real world, just saying.
You should be able to keep them if there is, because it would really bug me if you couldn't.
I mean, they're not going to make Saints Row 5 and be like, hey, just kidding, you can't do superpowers anymore. Like,
I don't know if they should make a Saints Row 5. Like, how much crazier can they get? Like, it follows the Dragon Ball Z problem of you hit a point where...
I was actually thinking of myself. Like, 4 is really absurdly out there. Like, I don't know what they would do.
Yeah. I guess they could take Red Faction and combine it with
Oh
Red
yeah, that's
Faction.
right. That is the future of Saints Row, right?
They're supposed to take place in the same universe.
Ultor and all that.
Yeah. Maybe
Yeah,
we
man,
make Red Faction
Geomod, you put
Armageddon and make
Geomod
it
in
better.
Saints Row 5, I'm in there. Fucking yes. Imagine you had superpowers that you could sprint through a fucking skyscraper and destroy it. Yeah, okay, now we got good ideas. This is great.
Yeah. You know, that would be a good. That would actually be a good excuse to have it in another simulation, so you could explain how they built the skyscraper back up in a day or two. But yeah, that's the only thing I'm afraid of is them hitting Saints Row 5, and we can't. Like nobody can really tell it's got crazier because there's.
Yeah, I don't know what they would do, but I would certainly be interested to see.
I'm
interested to see what they do with Enter the Dominatrix, because like I thought this was Enter the Dominatrix.
I heard something from a friend which suggests that the ending of Saints Row 4 is insanely fucking crazy. So I look forward to that.
Yeah, it is pretty insanely crazy. There's actually some really interesting justifications for stuff they could do after in both directions, both in the future and not, which is really we'll talk about when maybe someone else plays it, but
yeah, I need to fucking play it because
it's really, really good. I definitely recommend you play it. I mean, yeah, I don't know, it's good. It's so good. I might go back and 100% it. I mean, I did like 89% of all the stuff anyway on my playthrough, but still.
How long is it? Like I know it's expanded from an expansion pack, but Saints Row the Third, it's about half as long as Saints Row 2. So like, is this one shorter than 3?
I have 13 hours played and I beat it. So
okay, because it took me about 15 to do most of Saints Row the Third when I beat it on the 360.
Yeah, I have 26 on Saints Row the Third, but I've played it twice, so I guess that's about approximately right 13. So.
Can you have an overshirt and an undershirt this time? Did they bring that back?
I don't know. I played as a chick with a leather corset on the entire time.
Yeah, I feel like they cut down the clothes options in SR3 a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean they seem they're pretty much the same as Saints Row 3. There's some different clothes. Like I said, I'm more of a leather corset plus not thigh-high boots kind of guy, but that's really all I check for. I just go to leather and lace. I'm like, yep, I'll buy all the inventory here.
But did you put Ghost? Did you happen to play any of the Bureau XCOM Declassified?
Yeah,
Fat Mac has it on his list, but
that game is really good, right?
Yeah, I wanted to wait for Fat Mac.
Maybe we should wait for Fat Mac because he apparently has something else to talk about with it as well, like whatever his renting experience is. I don't know. Oh yeah, by the way, Fat Mac disappeared off this cast. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
What are your impressions, just quickly, and then we can talk more about it next week with Fat Mac.
Give me
it's
one
fucking
word.
Boring.
There you go, boring. Got it.
Well, that's all we really need to know then. Okay, never mind. I remember watching a quick look EX of it, or some kind of quick look of it, where they talked about it with the developers, and it looked like it had some interesting ideas. And it kind of had the Mass Effect thing of a radial wheel, where you could pick moves for your teammates and stuff. Any of that interesting at all?
It has the potential to be interesting, but the problem is that the AI of okay, I'm just gonna say this. During the first 2 missions, when you just have 2 AI dudes who have the maximum possible level, kind of your crutch characters you get in RPGs, it's okay, because you have these stronger characters who can actually do something. You have powers with reasonable cooldowns and shit. But the moment you start like choosing your own team, and all these fuckers start at level 1, if you don't manage these guys, like every move they do, they will just get annihilated. They have no. The problem with the Bureau is that they have no like reasonably good AI. They just fucking suck.
So you just have to do an obscene amount of micromanaging.
You just have to babysit them, and also they don't kill shit. So even despite the fact that they have their own guns and they have their powers, you will actually spend most of the time just shooting guys. Like on my second proper mission, so I had 2 other dudes with me, and one of the dudes killed like 7 aliens, and the other killed like 9, and I killed more than 50. So it's not even like so it's even worse in Mass Effect, where you have to rely on those powers, because here you not only have to rely on their powers too much, but also have to fucking babysit them all the time. It's just it's boring.
That doesn't sound
that
fun
boring.
at all.
Yeah. Also, the main character is a fucking cock.
So this is not related to the bro, but I accidentally opened a thread on NeoGAF, and there's a link to a video called "The Top 10 Hottest Female Sonic Characters." Of course, the most.
Fuck.
So that's not the best part. The best part is that Knuckles is on the list.
Well, that says a lot about female characters in Sonic.
Let's see. There's like Amy and that girl
Number
from
1 is Rouge, by the way, in case
2006.
you're wondering.
Yeah.
Obviously, well, Amy's a child, you know.
That's sexy bat. Rouge.
All have standards.
And there's Tails. Oh wait.
Oh, you mean miles per hour?
Oh no, not this
Oh
again.
no, not this again.
Yeah. Rouge was in Sonic Adventure 2. I don't know if she was in anything else.
Sonic Team?
There are probably some fucking spin-off
Yeah.
games with her in it, like Sonic Heroes. I don't know, dude.
Yeah, Sonic Heroes.
Wasn't
Sonic Heroes, I remember
has that line at the end where he's like, "Robotnik, we'll show you the real superpower of friendship."
I remember Sonic Heroes actually being alright.
Yeah, it was fine.
It was alright.
Adventure and Adventure 2 were pretty good too, though. So
In their own time, maybe.
They were alright.
greatest game of all time, Sonic 06, is pretty good. I think Rouge is in.
When he has to, like, maybe. When he has to like kiss a human girl or something like that to bring her
Well, he doesn't
back to
have
life.
to, he does
or
it.
something. Huh?
Oh, they just fell in love or something.
Oh.
I don't remember. I'm not really in the lore of Sonic 2006.
Don't fucking talk about Sonic 06, because that game is actually like a fucking war crime. Like, it barely works even. Like, it's literally something you torture people in a fucking CIA prison.
It's like somebody watched Hatoful Boyfriend. Isn't that the bird thing?
Yeah, it is.
We're dating sim. It's a pretty good game.
Or did that come out after 2006?
That's part of that picture, by the way, is Knuckles in the background. If the listeners are wondering, just Google Sonic 2006 Kiss, and the first result is the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And Knuckles is like, damn it.
This is like, the fuck?
Knuckles never gets.
Why am I in this game? What went wrong?
Whatever, man. Knuckles has like a guaranteed love interest in Tikal, so it's not that bad.
I don't even know who that is. We should
He's
probably
a
stop
female
talking about
echidna
Sonic
from-
more.
Well, welcome to the
Oh.
Sonic Adventure fan cast, featuring
I don't
a
want to talk about Sonic anymore.
believer, the
Ever.
biggest Sonic fan.
No, not really. Okay, Shadow the Hedgehog was a terrible game. You want to talk about a broken game?
Oh yeah, that's even like Sonic the Hedgehog 06 is so bad it's good. Sonic the Hedgehog, Shadow the Hedgehog is like so bad it's bad. So tell me about Radiant Historia, and by tell me about it, I mean I've already played it, but tell me about it anyway.
What did you? Okay, ultimately, what did you think of it? Because I've only played
I
a
thought it
few
was
hours.
pretty good,
of
but
it.
the combat was kind of fucked.
That's a bummer because it seems like it could be very interesting just from what I've played.
I thought the guy
Is
who was
it-
like fucking gigantic was pretty cool. I don't know why he was like 3 times the size of any other character, but he's fucking.
Of all the other sprites in the whole game, was
Yeah, he's
Rosh.
so big. He's like you think Warhammer 40k Space Marines have wide shoulders? You don't have a fucking thing on this guy.
Yeah.
He has like
his
triple
character.
sprite width.
His character portrait is like this big old beard, not
Yeah,
big
he's
beard,
the
but
fucking
pretty
man
scruffy.
I've ever seen.
yeah.
What's his name? Like Stark or something?
Rosh, Roschhe. That's the name.
Oh, okay,
That's
Rosh.
is that? There's a big dude in the beginning of the game. I don't know if it's the same dude.
Yeah, it's Rosh. You're right. Man, he's jacked.
Yeah. So Radiant Historia. Radiant Historia is a top-down JRPG for the DS, which was published by Atlas, and kind of went kind of passed into obscurity even for an Atlas game. I haven't heard much about it. So I want to start.
Oh, Atlas developed it. I didn't know that.
They did. I thought they just published it.
Oh, apparently they developed it.
So the story is that you play as this guy named Locke. He's, I guess you could say he's just a quiet dude, average JRPG protagonist soldier. But he's not
Stock, by the way, not Locke. But
Stock. Sorry, I keep missing.
You better be sorry, man. This lore is incredibly important.
And his boss gives him a book called the Historia or something like that, and tells him it will come in handy. And then he has a premonition that his two subordinates, which he also got, are going to die in their upcoming little mission. And they do. And he gets to use the Historia to go back to a certain decision, and he switches it to let them live. And they live. And as the game goes on, coming across,
So I think at this point it might be obvious what the mechanic of the game is, but
yeah,
it's done pretty well.
It is.
I think.
Yeah, as the game goes on, you keep having to go back in time to a certain decision and switch it to see how things should have played out in order to, keep things working or keep things going. To
so
keep
how far in are you?
I just now got past. They go to the Alma mine.
Yeah.
And I decided to go with Rosh and do that, and then things messed up, so I had to go back and decided to stay on Heist. And I finished that. You have to go catch a spy.
Yeah, the cool thing about the time travel mechanic is that, like, sometimes later in the game you'll have to complete parallel storylines to get a piece of information that will allow you to complete a different storyline. So it's not like, oh, I just go back to these A-B splits every time. It's like sometimes I go back all the way to like this decision 4 hours ago, and then do a bunch of decisions, and then maybe there I'll find this piece of information that says, oh shit, there's a bomb in this place. I gotta go, turn off the bomb at this other castle in this other timeline. It's very kind of interesting.
Seems like they could do a lot of stuff with it. It seems like this is a storyline that could be really fragile, like it could mess up pretty easily, but it also seems like one that if they do it right, could be really, really good. So I want to assume they do it right for the most part, at least.
I thought it was
I have a
pretty cool.
question.
Anyway, Ghost, question.
What the fuck is going on with the age of all these characters? Because I'm looking at Wikipedia right now, and you have
17,
a 19-year-old agent, a 70-year-old female agent, a 70-year-old male agent, a 20-year-old old military officer, a 9-year-old Satyros. What the fuck?
That's par for the course in JRPGs.
Yeah, man, 9 years old.
Your question.
You'd see the same thing if you were on the page for Tales of Xillia.
Yeah. Cloud Strife is supposed to be like 21 or something.
Why is everyone fucking 10? Just seems super weird, especially also. This text about the 9-year-old character is really weird because her weapon of choice is a dagger.
Yeah.
She's a shaman.
Have you seen Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood?
She's also very fond of stock. Very fond of stock.
Oh yeah. She tends to stubborningly what? What is that even the word? Stubborningly?
No. What?
No,
Who wrote this?
Okay, I need to edit this article and change that to stubbornly. Stubborningly. Jesus Christ, Wikipedia.
Seriously aside.
The free encyclopedia, indeed.
Welcome to the Giant Bomb Community Wikipedia editing podcast.
Well, I mean, it is a JRPG, so.
Okay, this 9-year-old is hot.
What?
Yeah.
I'm not sure
Where
which
does it
9-year-old you're talking about. Do what?
Sorry, I'm editing this Wikipedia page.
I'm gonna keep hitting F5 until I can see the change. Nope.
Stubborningly.
Also no.
I don't think that stubborningly is particularly a word.
It's not a word.
Anyway,
That's
so
a-
the battle
that's
system in this
changed,
particular
so.
game, the battle system in this game is enemies are placed on a 3x3 grid, and so far it has been about using different moves to push and pull them around so that you can get as many of them on the same square as possible, and then hit them with one attack. So you can cause as much damage to one group as possible. That's what it's been like so far, a few hours in. I don't know if it ever evolves beyond that. I hope it does, because like the story, it seems like something that could break pretty easily, but it also seems like something that could be very interesting if done well.
I thought it was solid, if not exceptional. But sorry.
Is it all you have to say about Radiant Historia?
Kinda, yeah. I look forward to playing more of it.
Man, I really
Because there's a
great
sexy game
description.
on your list.
You mean Shin Megami Tensei 4?
No,
No, not really.
no.
Okay. Should I vent my rage on that now? I don't really have much
Well,
rage.
that's
I don't.
Go on.
What was that, Nick?
So you mean on SMT IV, where we could just say like, yeah, the game is so easy to break, it becomes way too easy.
Yeah, I don't have much rage. I don't want to say I have a lot of rage towards it. Last week I said I was disappointed in it, and I am. I do want to make it clear that I still think parts of it are pretty good. I mean,
I think it's a good game. I just don't think it's the best SMT game by a long shot.
yeah, like every other Atlas game I've played so far, and especially every SMT game I've played so far, has been better than this one.
I still think SMT IV is like far and above like most fucking RPGs. So
Well, yeah, it's still only a good game.
yeah,
compared
exactly. It's not. It should be exceptional, and it's like only just really good.
Yeah. But the thing is, it's so easy to break. So if somebody listening hasn't played SMT, we've explained this before on the podcast, but the short of it is that it has the press turn battle system, which is you exploit an enemy's weakness and you get an extra half turn, it just means that you have a turn you can't get another turn off of. So in Nocturne, the game was mostly built around getting as many turns as you can so you can keep yourself buffed up and attack and heal. So every time you get to a turn, you had to wonder, how can I make the best of this? SMT4... What?
SMT IV is like, how can I make the best of spamming Megiddo?
Yeah. I guess that's the short of it. I spent a fair bit in the Google Doc we have, writing a lot about it. I don't know if I want to elaborate most of it, but the short of it is that buffs don't really matter that much in SMT4. Occasionally they do, but not often. And so what you're doing is you're finding a boss's weakness, and you're just taking 8 turns to hit that boss. Occasionally you cast a spell that reflects all physical attacks or all magical attacks against you, except for Almighty. I want to know
way
what
too
you're
fucking
laughing.
good. Like Cetrakarn and Makarakarn are like the most broken skills I've ever seen, and they let you have them for free so early in the game. It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, about
And
halfway
it
through.
turns every boss into like, I wonder if this guy's gonna use physical or magic. Because if I can guess right, I just instantly win.
Yeah, and when they attack you, and if you have Tetra or Makarakarn active and they attack you, all that damage is reflected right back at them.
Yeah, and
So
then
if it
they
was gonna- if
also
it was-
lose their turn as if it wasn't bad enough. Like
Yeah.
the way I beat the final boss was no joke through reflect damage, most of it. Like, yeah, there was like an occasional 8,000 damage Antichthon, but like it was mostly reflect damage.
Yeah, I haven't quite beaten it yet. I'm in the Monochrome Forest. And that's
Oh
not
yeah,
far.
that's a cool place. So you haven't made the decision yet. That's all right, cool.
Yeah.
Do you meet any angels yet?
Yeah, I've met
So
some angels.
coolest
They
art.
do not
or
look like
the
angels.
Coolest art.
I don't really like the art. They don't really look like anything.
They look so cool, man. I like
They
angels.
remind me of the Ouroboros from Resident
Yeah,
Evil
I
5.
guess that's true. They kind of remind me of the angel designs from Bayonetta, where it's like porcelain shell plus grotesque interior, which is kind of intentional, I guess. But
Yeah.
pretty fucking weird looking. Well, I was gonna say in real life, but what I mean in the Bible. But you know,
I liked them better in SMT IV. The designs were alright there.
yeah, they're a little generic though. Like it's just like this.
Yeah.
A holy warrior with a halo. Whereas like Michael in 4 looks so fucked up. It's like, yeah, it's awesome.
But they at least look like something. They don't really look like anything in SMT IV. But anyway, the story continues to be pretty well written.
I thought it was really cool.
I'm not exactly sure how everything fits together quite yet, but it's...
So I don't remember quite the order of the story. Have you been to Blasted Tokyo yet?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, that was one of the coolest parts, I thought.
Yeah. So one of my big complaints with it was that the environments never really change. Like, it's always post-apocalyptic.
Hey, come on, they were more on fire than usual.
Yeah, and then you go, and then suddenly, and it also didn't feel very open to me. Like, okay, so you can go around to different places, but a lot of the dungeons feel really, really claustrophobic and tightly closed in. Something I didn't get from Nocturne. I guess because the squares in Nocturne are a lot bigger.
Yeah, I think there are definitely some optional larger dungeons in the main Tokyo. Because I did a bunch of weird optional shit by mistake, and it ends up, it's quite expansive. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. But yeah, and for the most part, the main dungeons are just like...
So the game keeps stubborningingly putting you into the same boring environments.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you get to a...
These guys are having way too much fun vandalizing Wikipedia.
We're on the Internet Police's list right now.
Are you on the Radiant Historia Wikipedia page still?
Well, I made it. I changed it to Stubbornly, and they went and fucking vandalized it to Stubborningingly. I was just trying to do some good. I didn't want you to.
Yeah, I know.
Fuck it up on me.
The worst part is you actually believed me when I said you misspelled it.
I know. I thought maybe the guy had misspelled it before because I just backspaced the ing with it.
Yeah. I just had to say something to make sure you looked at it.
Yeah.
I just found it way too funny. Sorry. At least
Yeah,
I got a name
okay.
for the podcast, right? For the episode.
Stubborningingly.
Yeah.
Sure. Stubborningingly.
So anyway, it eventually did. The environments eventually did change. It went to a post-apocalyptic Tokyo, where there wasn't much of anything.
The beast.
No, it was just a bunch. It was really just a bunch of craters. I guess that's a.
Oh yeah, that was Blasted. What's the fire? What's the one where everyone's on fire?
Infernal.
Oh, Infernal. Yeah. Whoops. There you go.
Yeah, that was just weird.
I thought that was really cool.
They approached that too casually. They were like,
Blasted was awesome, but Infernal was just like cool. I don't know. I thought it was great.
I mean, they like Infernal when they were in Infernal, they approached that really casually. They just walked out there and like, oh,
yeah, this guy's like a cat. Oh, whatever, it's fine. I mean, they did summon demons for like the entire game, so.
Yeah, but still, to find them all running around talking as if they were humans.
I mean, well, some of the demons are pretty polite, even in regular Tokyo.
Oh yeah, I know. Some of them are all right. Like there's a Hariti who's all right. She just wants you to go find her son. So, whatever.
Oh yes, never mind. You haven't fight. Anyway, if you're not on the law path, I'd be interested to hear about the final boss. But we'll talk about that. Not,
Yeah, I was gonna go chaos, but
yeah.
I really didn't like some of the chaos decisions. I don't know. When I play an RPG, I tend to.
Yeah, I always be the good guy. I know it's boring, right? But like, I can't just slaughter innocent people. So.
Well, both of them kind of end up in that.
Yeah, true enough. I might play again, do chaos, then because I carried over my max level shit, so not like it's be hard.
The way I solved that in Nocturne was, why don't we just kill everybody equally?
Yeah.
With the true demon ending.
Just slaughter indiscriminately.
Well, there were way to do it.
There were only 5 humans left in Nocturne.
Yeah, to be fair.
Jeez.
Like, that game begins with a literal, almost completely literal apocalypse.
Yeah, the Kagetsuchi, which is pretty cool. conceit for remaking the world.
Yeah.
Also,
I
Blasted,
guess
I just like Blasted because it reminded me of Nocturne.
Yeah, that's a part of the reason.
I was
why
like,
I
oh man,
Blasted.
it's supposed to be like the world of Nocturne or some shit, but no, it wasn't.
That would have been a better twist. I thought, oh my god, I've moved into the world of Nocturne.
Yeah, I've moved into a better game.
Yeah.
I think they should have put Demi-Fiend in there because I want to fight Demi-Fiend in every game. He's really fucking.
Well, with the way the battle system's messed up, I don't think they could have handled it properly.
Yeah, it's interesting to me how much the narrative on this game seems to have changed over the past couple of podcasts. It's just like
the way we were praising it.
It's a great game. Just like, I mean, I'm talking the bad parts here, but same with The Last of Us. Like, I like The Last of Us. I just think it's got.
Oh yeah, I was just about to say Last of Us syndrome, that we're sort of.
I hope no one's gonna post in the thread and be like, "Can't believe there's another fucking whatever mimicking podcast shit talking the SMT IV just for something to do." Whoops, sorry, I'm calling out some guy, aren't I?
We both pretty clearly said that it was a good game.
Yeah,
it's just not near as good as it should be.
The way you guys were talking about it at the start, it sounded like this would be like a serious Game of the Year contender, and now.
I haven't finished it at that point though.
Okay.
Yeah, I hadn't got halfway through yet. It at first. Like,
Would you still
really
recommend it?
feels like,
I would absolutely. I think it's a great game.
Okay. For someone whose only real contact with Shin Megami Tensei is like Persona, a bit of Devil Survivor, and a bit of Strange Journey, would you recommend it for a newcomer, or should I, for example,
it's easier than
play
most games by a lot.
Nocturne?
yeah, once you get past the beginning of the game is incredibly hard. We've already established that the tutorial of this game is way too difficult. The thing is, it's like a reverse difficulty curve.
Yeah, it's even worse. It gets so easy, right?
Easier it gets. Yeah, except for a handful. There are a handful of bosses that can one-shot you in the late game.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's
which
bosses
feels really cheap.
Fuck you, because you're like, oh, I'll just buff up, and then the boss is like, sorry, if you buff, I go crazy mode and kill you instantly. It's like, well, how does this know that?
Yeah.
The answer is save before every boss. Welcome to SMT.
That's why they tell you there's a boss coming up every time.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice,
by the way, I appreciate that. They're like, are you sure you want to go ahead? You could not do that. I'm like, oh shit, I better save.
I'm pretty sure Nocturne also did that.
Yeah, I know that Persona doesn't. I mean, you kind of know where they are anyway, but like, you can still get into a situation where you're like, oh fuck.
Well, Persona pretty much does it visually. Like in Persona 3,
definitely.
When you get to a boss floor, it's got a completely different layout. In Persona 4, you get to a boss floor, and it's just a small room with a big door and save point. So you're like, oh, here's the boss. I started SMT Nocturne. Actually, I started playing some Persona 3 Portable, but I didn't play tons of it. And then I turned around and played
my second favorite SMT game after Nocturne.
Yeah. Nocturne was just brilliant.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I was expecting SMT IV to be that good, but
I want like an HD Nocturne in PS4 graphics. Yes.
Yeah.
You don't need to touch the gameplay at all.
No, not at all.
Except maybe take away the whole like instant death on your main character as a game over. You know.
I think
a random battle and 3 guys cast Mamudo, and you're just like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's pretty much.
You gotta wear them out. You gotta ingest a Malagatama that has death immune, but like still, you know.
Yeah, I guess I do hope for.
Actually, Persona 3 has the exact same issue, where if you're doing the bonus dungeon and you're not wearing a Persona who has death immune, you just basically die instantly. It's like, what?
Well, the thing is, in Nocturne.
Speaking of game, and whatever. Finish up.
What's up?
Finish up.
All right.
Later on in Nocturne, though, by the time Mamodoon comes up and stuff like that, you usually have a way to counter it pretty easily. Yeah. And most dungeons keep it where it's going to happen. Keep it fairly.
Yeah, the one change I really appreciate about SMT4 is the whole if your main character dies, your demons can keep fighting, which is something that Nocturne doesn't have. If the Demi-Fiend dies, it's game over. Same with Persona 3. If your main character dies, it's game over. Fixed in Portable, I believe. I don't remember.
No, I don't believe it. I haven't died in Portable.
I think in P3 Portable. So in 4, your allies will get you back up, which is nice.
Yeah.
Persona 4 is a great game, also. Man, SMT games are all good.
I've heard that.
Some are better than others.
honestly, I like Nocturne the best, and if you're only going to play one SMT game,
definitely
just make it Nocturne. If you want a good place to start learning the ideas behind SMT games,
Digital Devil is a good choice for that. 4 Persona.
Yeah, 4 might be an okay starting place.
Digital Devil Saga 1 has probably the best leveling system of any SMT game I've played, just from a personal taste standpoint.
Yeah, I just can't really recommend 4 over the other SMT games.
Yeah, no, it's a great game, but it's not the best. So tough fucking crowd.
Yeah,
So,
I mean when you released,
we've well established it's an amazing series.
Yeah, it would be like Valve releasing, I don't know,
Half-Life 4.
Crisis 2. It'd be like Valve releasing Half-Life 3, and it's only a good game. It's not a brilliant, amazing thing.
We gotta move on to Baldur's Gate so Ghost can like shit talk or whatever he wants to do.
He can, if he's got to go do something, he can go do it while we continue.
Oh, we're gonna keep talking about SMT since Ghost left for a second here. So what else is there? Personas are all good. Raido Kusanoha versus King Abaddon Devil Summoner series, pretty good. I liked it a lot.
Those seem interesting.
It's like a hybrid between SMT and like Tales, because like it's kind of like action combat. I actually plan to play Devil Summoner 2.
How is Devil Summoner?
I haven't played the first one. I only played versus King Abaddon. I played about half of it. Thought it was really good.
Talking about the 3DS game.
Oh, Soul Hackers. Yeah. I think it's really good.
Yeah.
It's way more hardcore and like old school though than like 4, but still a great game. The one thing they have in Devil Summoner that I like a lot is the sword fusions, where you can fuse demons into your sword to make it better. Which I thought
you could do that in 3. You can do that in Persona 3.
You can do that in 3. But
I actually only did it once because it seemed kind of useless.
Yeah, in
I never felt a need.
It's super effective. Like really, really good swords. Like, and swords have like weaknesses and resistances too, which is kind of cool. It's also in If, and I know If has a big focus on sword fusions as well. Not that it ever came out over here, but it's an okay game. Yeah. If is like surprisingly kind of deep. It's a very cool game. If you speak Japanese, you should become intentionally If. And if you don't speak Japanese and like playing RPGs that you can't understand, like me, then you play it anyway. All right, well, let's.
Well, now that we're done with talking about Baldur's Gate 2,
yeah, we're totally talking
about news.
Yeah, there's no way we kept talking about SMT. So Baldur's Gate, allegedly very hard to see.
I don't have great eyes.
Well, how far away is Baldur?
Not far.
Like
a foot and a half,
like 2 feet. Yeah.
It's 26 inches.
Okay, okay. Yeah, it's not that far.
Yeah, but the thing is, I want a larger resolution because that allows me to see a whole lot of the field. Like even in something like Torchlight or RTSs, I keep wanting to zoom further out because I like seeing everything and then zooming in to mess with the details. And Baldur's Gate doesn't have any sort of zoom, so I set the resolution pretty high. I think I set it to 1080p first, and I couldn't really see anything. Like, I turned the brightness and contrast up, and I couldn't tell because things are so far away. But when you zoom in, or when you change the resolution to lower, you can't see much of the battlefield. So either way really bugs me.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the game was like designed for like 640 by 480, so it's probably okay that way. But...
Also, honestly, we're over-exaggerating the problem because you never really need that much space to see.
Yeah, but it still looks way better. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah,
that Planescape at 2560 by 1600 looks fucking awesome. But like, yeah, it's like your character is this tiny like 40 by 40 pixel thing.
Yeah, but you don't
huge screen.
But the point is just battles in Baldur's Gate never take that much space for you to even matter. So
yeah, I know it's just a personal problem. It's not a major problem with the game, in particular.
Play TOE.
Yeah, well, you see, the thing is, I've never been a big fan of the pause and play that's in Dragon Age Origins. So I wanted to, after messing around with Baldur's Gate's AD&D rule set, I thought maybe I'd go mess around with Temple of Elemental Evil, which is turn-based. I have not done that yet, so I don't know how it turns out.
I think that if you are having if you end up having any problems with Baldur's Gate 2, which has a very light adaptation of the system, and then you will not have fun playing Temple of Elemental Evil.
TOE is like kind of like SMT IV, where it's like the first couple levels are fucking impossible, but once you're like level 3, then everything's okay. You're like, all right, we're good.
Still, it still has problems.
But
like
still,
let
me just say, I think I mentioned this before on
pretend.
the podcast, but like, fuck spiders. Like, seriously, fuck spiders.
Yeah.
Like,
Also,
if anyone who's played TOE and done that one fucking mission, spiders are so OP. Like, just give me a fucking break.
Yeah. Also, there's the fact that you stop leveling after level 10.
Yeah.
So you have a very limited skill set at your disposal. You should fucking play more Baldur's Gate 2. It's the best game Bioware ever made.
Yeah, I can see that. Already, I can see the writing is much, much more interesting in Baldur's Gate 2 than it was in either Mass Effect or Dragon Age. Like, I don't know, it seems weird and colorful. It doesn't seem like the dialogue seems weird and colorful. Is what I mean.
Dark or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, it has that weird balance where you could have something dark going on it wouldn't seem out of place, but you'd also have some fairly humorous things going on,
like space hamster.
Yeah, like Minsk.
Yeah, like Minsk. Yeah, he seems like a pretty awesome character that I'm going to keep around.
You should there's a lot of funny characters because you also have, apart from Minsk, you for example get Edwin Odysseron, who is like a very bitchy and kind of an asshole mage who is also very arrogant. So he always has
a precursor.
All of his dialogue has like double speak where there's shit he talks loudly, and then in parentheses you can read what he's talking under his breath, and it's always shit talking the team.
It's pretty funny.
Like in the middle of a sentence, like I should just fireball these guys.
I've seen most of a let's play. I've seen most of a let's play of Baldur's Gate 1. And Edwin seemed like a pretty entertaining character.
Yeah, Edwin's pretty cool. And in 2 you also have probably the funniest character, Jan Jansen, or Jan Jansen in this case, who is basically a gnomish turnip merchant. And he's kind of like this. He's kind of this big liar who has all of these tall tales about his family and shit, and somehow everything is tied to turnip.
Yeah,
like every weird story about his uncle and shit always ends up with a turnip in the center of everything.
That sounds pretty fun.
That sounds pretty funny.
You should just play more of it because it's a good game.
I have played the first hour or so of Baldur's Gate 2. Well, a fair amount of that time was just setting up a character. I found that game to be fairly overwhelming, but I think
I can see where you'd say that. I looked up all around the internet, for some hints as I played it.
Yeah.
I was
playing multiplayer, so I had a friend sort of walking me through the experience, and even then,
you want an easy, you want a very comforting Baldur's Gate experience. Just play as a paladin and have a team of Minsk, Anamen, Jaheira, Jan Jansen, and later Imoen and Edwin, and that's all you need.
I'm not really saying that I need to have a super easy or basic.
It's not easy. It's just it's the most comfortable way to have a first playthrough, because that's a very well balanced team.
Okay, I'm just saying that it's something that I need to sort of dedicate myself to a little bit. Take some time.
I needed some outside sources. I have never played D&D. I don't know much of anything about its rules. I needed to go look into some outside sources just to see some things.
Baldur's Gate 2 is very light on that stuff.
Yeah, you don't need to be a master of AD&D to understand.
All you need to know really is that.
I can tell you as a huge fan of D&D, the worst part about D&D is the combat.
Yeah. Although Baldur's Gate 2 is, I think, okay in that regard, generally.
Yeah, I guess I had heard that Temple of Elemental Evil does pretty well with combat, which is another reason why I was interested in it.
Well, the combat is why Dave Snyder rates the Icewind Dale games as that's not quite as a consensus like classic of the genre like games like Baldur's Gate 2 are, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, like I'm really interested. I really want to see good combat systems. That's
Dave was kind of talking his ass because like the first Icewind Dale is super fucking hard and it's completely imbalanced, especially in like the first hours. And Icewind Dale 2 is just easy.
Yeah, I was playing Icewind Dale not too long ago, and like, dude, those goblins are serious fucking shit.
Yeah.
Because like everyone misses their
hours
for like 20 minutes, then someone hits, and then whoever they hit just dies instantly.
The first Icewind Dale is just hilariously like bad about its combat difficulty.
Well, I mean, once you gain levels, it's okay, but it's like
but there are still moments when you fight like a bunch of fucking huge golems.
Yeah, or an ogre who just like one shots your fucking warrior.
Yeah.
Well, now what? My AC was like 2, dude. What do you want?
And 2 is just easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Baldur's Gate 2 seems pretty good. It seems like I've always heard that it's the best RPG from that particular era. So far, it's proven itself quite well. The only thing I really want is a zoom function. Yeah, if anyone knows of a mod or something that can let me zoom in and out at will, that would be great. As far as looks go, though, this game seems to scale pretty well. Like you're far enough away from the characters that you don't really notice how pixelated they are. But the backgrounds are, I think they're just one big GIF.
Yeah, they're all beautifully done. At least,
and they're all still pretty well done. I don't know. A lot of people seem to like Planescape Torment, but say
not for the combat though.
The combat is okay, especially since there are literally 5 moments in the entire game where you absolutely have to fight.
Yeah.
And even then, most of the time, like
your teammates do it for you.
Just if you play a warrior and if you have like a basic team of Morte and Dakin, you can just fucking flow through most enemies. From the top of my head, I can think of 5 places where you actually have to engage in combat for like a bit longer time, and it's just so far spread out that you just shouldn't care.
Is the rest of the game just reading text
and dialogue?
Dude,
the writing.
I mean, in the way that like, why would I play a visual novel? It's just reading.
Yeah,
text.
I wouldn't say just in a way. I'm not sure that you intended that to sort of sound, dismissive.
Also, besides, like,
no, it's not dismissive. It's
like if you're saying should I read a book or play Planescape Torment, you should read a book. Okay, there you go.
Not really.
No, I think there's a lot better books than there are Planescape Torment.
I'm not dismissing. I'm wondering if
there are better books, but I think like Torment's writing is not just okay. It's okay for a video game. No, it's just
it's done extremely well, and it works with the video game medium extremely well, which is why it's so good, right? Like the ability to explore and talk to different people and all that is what makes the game great. So.
Yeah, and it's the fact that this game is like an HD port of Planescape Torment would not work because you would have to throw out all of this great narration and things that are told by Chris Avellon's writing.
Yeah.
Like part of the beauty of Torment is just reading about all of this stuff because it just reads like it's just good writing. It's just like It's not just the story is interesting or anything. It's just it's like the sentences that you read are just
they're all
fucking. It's just great style.
Plus, like you can never get tired of updated my journal. Everywhere I go, I'm just like updated my journal.
I didn't mean to be dismissive. That's not what I meant. It's just I don't know if that's completely what I want to play.
You should fucking play Torment.
Okay. But then I guess I play Persona, and that's like half of that is text.
Exactly.
And running around.
There's far less filler.
When I played Persona, I spent a hell of a lot more hours running around than I did talking about text. So.
No, I spent plenty of time talking to people.
Maybe I just don't like grinding like I do in every game I play.
That was actually
I only did
that
like
was
2
actually
hours of grinding.
That was actually you don't have to grind that much, but that was actually that and Nocturne were podcast games for me. I would, when it was time to grind, not time to grind, but time to play dungeons in Persona 3, I would just get to the dungeon and save, and then wait for the next podcast, and then just play Persona 3.
I couldn't do that because, like, Mass Destruction is the best song ever.
I don't have baby, 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 baby stuck in my head.
Well, I feel sorry for you because that's the best part of Persona 3.
I did play the end of it.
Mass Destruction. Oh yeah. Dun, 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 dun.
I don't know what the context for this is, and I don't want to know.
It's the battle
theme. I'll send it to you.
3. Every time you get into a battle, that song plays. I did like the remix at the end of the game though. Like, it was so stupid, but it was so fun.
One of the best battle themes of all time, undoubtedly. Although Persona 4 also has a great one. Reach out to the truth. I was good at Mass.
I like
Reach
Persona.
out to the truth. Dun, 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 dun.
I also like Persona 4. Persona 4 has one of the best ending boss battles I've heard because it's slower and quieter, and it suddenly rises up.
You've been struck by a smooth criminal.
That should be in Persona 5.
Yeah.
The entire
That is so good.
It's the entire soundtrack by Michael Jackson.
I would play that shit so
They should just get.
Well, I'm gonna play Persona 5 anyway, but
Persona 5 should just be all of Jeff's inevitable fanfiction about Chie.
Speaking of Chie, I watched some of the Persona 4 anime, and Chie's voice actor in that is terrible.
She's fucking. Oh.
I like Kanji. He's awesome.
It's Troy Baker, but he's replaced by who in the anime?
I don't mean the voice actor. I just like Kanji.
Ah, okay. Yeah, but the voice actress for fucking Chie, the new one, who was introduced in Arena, Golden, and the anime is just fucking terrible. It's just.
Yeah.
It's not even bad, considering like I have the original voice of Chie in my head. It's just bad voice acting.
Yes.
It's like Fuka level, like it's like Fuka from Persona 3 level of shitty.
God, yeah.
She was all right. Not that bad. I mean, she was not great, but it was all right.
Okay, maybe I exaggerated.
It wasn't Mitsuru, so I don't fucking care because Mitsuru is so hot. Let's talk about my love for Mitsuru again.
So I played Persona 3 Portable. Not this week, but fairly recently. And yeah, I see what you meant by you wish that the female main character could have social links with everybody. I guess that was an awkward conversation.
No, I want to have lesbian sex with Mitsuru. I understand where you're coming from. Don't worry, we're see eye to eye on this one.
I'm lesbians for her.
I'm whatever she wants for her, man. Mitsuru. I don't care what she wants me to do.
You're rubber, I'm glue.
She gets to skip the whole gen. I was trying to get all the social links, and
it's pretty
I got the gen page. And I was like, I wish I could just skip this one.
It's also pretty.
Like
the thing about
I'm just like, let's take this thing to level 10 already, so we can get it over with and move on.
Well, you also need to you have to save and restart until you get sick certain days, which kind of is obnoxious, but.
I'm not gonna mess around with any of that. I didn't get all of the social links in 3, and I'm not gonna bother. I mean, I'm gonna try to get as many of them as possible. I'm not gonna go through and follow a guide to get all of them perfectly.
I just care about the get my intel at the max.
If any of it isn't Persona 5, I don't really want to talk about it. Or Etrian Odyssey, the new one, seems pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'll play that. I mean, it's not really a new one; it's a remake of one, but you know.
It's a lot more story focused.
Well, it's basically adding a story mode to one. Kitty, stop. Kitty, jeez, sorry.
Oh god.
So Etrian
Let's
Odyssey
talk about-
Untold is a remake of Etrian Odyssey with some story additions and updated graphics in the style of Etrian Odyssey IV. Kitty, my cat's unhappy with that, but I'm very happy with that because I love Etrian Odyssey, so I'll play it.
Yeah, I like playing Etrian Odyssey 4 a lot, and I haven't beat it yet, but I still dig it up to go dungeon grind. I'm stuck on that.
Royal is a worthless class because Ibushi is so fucking strong. Whatever. Whatever.
New
Ibushi.
XCOM, new XCOM content is coming up.
Yeah, so XCOM. So what is in that? Give me the breakdown.
Okay, so there's 40 new maps.
Sounds good. How many maps in the original game?
Oh, I have no idea.
Like 6.
Did you say 40?
I was gonna say not 40.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
Yeah,
It's hard to say because they probably also count variations on one map.
Yeah.
And they also probably count the fact that you will also have UFO landings in cities. So it's probably like an inflated number. What you get also, Enemy Unknown has 80 maps.
Damn, really? So 40 is gonna be nothing.
They also probably count in the interiors of spaceships when you
Yes.
do like shit like
Yeah.
that.
And
There's
they
a
probably
new-
count slight redesigns or something like
Yeah,
that.
there's a new class. The Mech Trooper. You basically can take whoever from your team and turn them into a half man, half mech. So they have only like human heads and just weird robotic small bodies. And they have separate perks and separate abilities. You get new enemies, which they reveal at least one. The Mechtoid. So it's probably a Sectoid who is combined with a mech,
Ah,
I guess.
that's some clever shit right there. I almost don't care what's in this pack because if it's just more content and any excuse to play more Enemy Unknown, then I'm already on board.
Hope they fix the weird ass fucking camera angle shit. It's not that big a deal, but you know.
Can't you turn that off?
Well, I was mean like when like you zoom in and it's like it goes through like clips through like
Yeah.
4 walls and like the guy like
There is-
shoots me
Yeah.
through a car. I'm like, excuse
There
me.
is definitely some dodgy.
I would also wish if they've kind of made if the mouse wouldn't follow the
Proper
the
PC
way the
controls,
gamepad
that'd be
works,
nice.
because the mouse controls in XCOM Enemy Unknown are tedious. Like,
Yeah,
and more
they're
often than not, I just found myself just fucking clicking, into shit.
Yeah, you should. I tried playing that a little bit with a mouse and keyboard. That's definitely a controller game.
Yeah, I'd beat it with a mouse and keyboard, and I would be like, maybe not so much a mouse.
Also coming up is what? Rebalances. You're going to apparently they want to make some abilities, for example, like snapshot, covering fire, and up close and personal, actually useful because everyone just picked lightning reflexes.
Did they make Squad Sight not completely fucking broken?
Apparently they do because they remove from Squad Sight. From what they said, they are removing the ability to do critical damage.
Oh, okay.
Will only do critical damage if you also use headshot.
That still seems pretty fucking good. I don't know.
Yeah, like if you can still squad sight and double tap your way through the final missions in that game, then
Yeah.
I mean that was fun, but at the same time that's not balance. So
Snapshot has its aim penalty reduced from 20 to 10.
okay, that might be a bit. Again, I don't know.
It's hard to say. Like you would have to check in gameplay because like 10 actually seems like a much smaller trade-off.
Yeah, exactly. That seems like maybe they would have just that sort of difficult balance thing where you sort of nerf too hard and then buff too hard. It's like, and then you've got to nerf it, and then eventually try and find a happy medium. Like it's tough. I feel sorry for some people, that have to balance games and sort of. I think that stuff is really difficult.
From other stuff, you also get like soldiers now will not only speak English, but will actually speak the languages of their respective countries.
That was always a weird thing for me in that game. Like they made a point of making these, international teams and like really making it seem like it was an international movement, and then everybody spoke like an American. Like
Yeah.
I mean, let alone speaking other languages, they all spoke English with an American accent.
Not even an accented English. It was just all American.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
All American.
I haven't played much.
Yeah. And
XCOM.
from what they've said, there's just one change that I'm most excited about, because they've included a button in the pre-mission UI that strips all soldiers not currently assigned to the Scavenger team of all equipment.
Oh, fantastic!
So you don't have to go through like 40 fucking menus just
yeah.
look, okay, which one of my down dudes has that med kit?
Oh, that weird micromanaging stuff was the worst part of Enemy Unknown.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should have been
Isn't
there.
it amazing? Yeah, isn't it amazing how the littlest things really get you?
Oh, it didn't stop me from absolutely loving that game.
Yeah, but just stupid thing that just like, why is it? Why?
Well, it's such an obvious flaw. It's
exactly.
The second mission you play, and you're like,
because these guys must have. Yeah. Whoever was in charge of balance must have went through this shit at least 1 billion times more than we did.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably put in the bug report the first time, and they're like, not critical.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. It does seem very strange that in a game of that higher quality, like across the, well, technical issues aside, it does stick out more there. But yeah, no, that's definitely a cool new feature.
So, here's a weird question: which is better, like this or Fire Emblem Awakening? Are they all that similar?
Fire Emblem.
Oh, I like Enemy Unknown. I've not beaten Awakening. I think I was about 5 chapters to the finish. I prefer Enemy Unknown.
I prefer Awakening only because the flexibility is so much higher on the stuff you can do.
Yeah, that's fine. I think there's a purity to Enemy Unknown, and there was a tension to Enemy Unknown that even
there's a tension to fucking Fire Emblem. You're playing on permadeath.
There is.
I can tell you that much.
There is, and I did play with permadeath on, but I got a lot more tension and a lot more satisfaction out of Enemy Unknown than I really like Awakening. That'll probably, I don't want to make a Brad Shoemaker bold claim, but I would be shocked if I'd be shocked.
More games this year.
I'd be shocked if Awakening wasn't in my top 10.
Oh yeah, no, I agree.
Awakening, I think. Well, just from what I've played of Awakening,
you should record this
timestamp
so we can talk shit about Atlas if he doesn't put that game on his top 10 list.
See, that's why I don't mind making bold statements, because I don't mind being wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Dude, I'm all the fucking time.
So far,
whatever, just add to the list.
Just from games that I've played this year, Awakening probably seems the best written and the best from a mechanical standpoint.
Well, I need to
play that for sure.
I kind of agree with you with the mechanics. I don't agree with you with the writing.
Writing is okay.
I haven't played The Last of Us. And Bioshock Infinite. Maybe Bioshock.
The Last of Us is good storytelling, not necessarily good writing.
Yeah.
There is some good writing in The Last of Us.
There's also some
writing
in The Last of Us.
Oh, after replaying Infinite again, some of that writing most of it is fine.
So let me tell you about my immersion-breaking problem that I have with games, where every time someone says something, I think, would a real person say this? And then it fucks me up so bad, because I'm like, nope, they wouldn't say that. And I can't.
You shouldn't call that with any medium.
Yeah, I know. I do it with movies too. I can't enjoy any movies anymore.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. That
I'm so jaded. It's I can't do anything.
You should see somebody about that.
Yeah, I guess so. Go see.
And by somebody, I mean a firing squad.
I mean, I'll just sit here playing my mechanic-focused games where no one says anything, like Dark Souls. I mean, they say stuff.
Yeah.
Hardly anyone speaks in Dark Souls. If anything, I'd say it's more realistic.
Maybe that's why Nocturne was. That's why Nocturne.
Let's be honest. When you go down the street, how many people speak directly to you? Nobody, right? So, I mean, not in Toronto anyway. Everyone's super unfriendly here, but.
Dude, no one speaks to you on the street because you're not that special.
I know, exactly. Just like in Dark.
Yeah.
You are the one with the enkindling right and all that, but still.
Yeah. It does kind of bug me. It does kind of bug me in some RPGs where you just run around talking to everybody, and they're like, okay, or they're really ready to trust you with things.
Yeah.
Or
yeah. Well, it's because in those games you're the only person who can actually get shit done.
So can we talk about bad dialogue for a second in regards to, let's say, Zone of the Enders? Ooh.
We can talk about bad dialogue.
Bad fucking dialogue.
Yeah.
It's really bad, trust me. Zone of the Enders is a cool fucking game, but the dialogue is atrocious.
Wow,
that's so bad. So bad.
Yeah.
You're a 9-year-old kid. So appropriate, I guess, right? It's worse than Shinji and Evangelion.
I had no idea that Zone of the Enders was a Kojima game.
Yeah, it's really good.
Damn. Shows how much,
So
shows
that
how much
was the
I've
bad
played
writing
then.
then.
Yeah, exactly. Bad writing, amazing, ridiculous story. Whatever, dude. The writing in Metal Gear is clearly amazing. So, I hear you like to play Castlevania.
Does somebody really say that in a Metal Gear game?
Yeah, of course.
It's
It's
in
fucking,
you have
Psychomantis.
Castlevania, and I saved that.
I've never played a Metal Gear game. I've never
Okay,
played
so-
a single minute of a Metal
so
Gear
let's
game.
Psychomantis.
Psychomantis.
Solid.
He would basically
If you
read your
play Metal
card,
Gear.
and if you played a game that Konami made, like Castlevania, he'd be like, "So, Snake, I hear you're a fan of Castlevania."
My favorite thing, like,
mind blowing in 1990 whatever.
yeah, whatever. That was mind blowing in Bayonetta when the shopkeep he was like, "What are you buying?" I was like, I heard that in a video game. That was like the one thing I liked about Bayonetta.
Well, dude, my favorite thing about Bayonetta, other than being an amazing game, is the fact that the sound for picking up rings is the fucking Sonic the Hedgehog sound.
Yeah.
That's so good.
I wanted to like, but anyway.
It's an amazing game, man. Oh my god. You know,
I might give it another
you
try
like that
someday.
style of character action game, but
Yeah.
like, do you like Devil May Cry? No, I'm assuming since you don't like Bayonetta, but
I have only played the first couple of hours of DMC IV. Is my only DMC
Oh.
experience. I
free.
do have, and I'm waiting to play the new one because I got it on.
Oh
360.
well, all right. Well, good luck with that. It's fine. It's a good game.
I want to play the
New
new one.
one's
It
fine.
seems like
It's
a really
fine.
good action game.
I'd rather play Devil
mean,
May Cry 3 Special Edition than the new one ever, but you know, it's still. Okay, so when you play Devil May Cry, the new one, Virgil's
Yeah.
coat is the coolest fucking coat I've ever seen. I really want it.
Good
I
to
really
know.
want that coat.
Yeah.
Is that all?
I did-
Well, unless somebody else. wants
Europa
to speak.
Universalis.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we kind of forgot about that a little bit.
We're at 2.5 hours.
So give
Yes.
me the rundown. Give me the comparison between Europa Universalis and Crusader Kings.
So what I've come to realize is that I think that in some ways, Europa Universalis is more engaging than Crusader Kings 2, and I think the thing about that is just there's just more, almost like I suppose you could say variety, because like Crusader Kings 2, when you boil it down, is like it's a war game, whereas in Europa Universalis, you're more sort of balancing economic stuff. Like you can expand completely peacefully through colonization, and actually that's been my most fun thing, the thing that I've enjoyed doing most of that game. So I imported a game from Crusader Kings 2. There was an old save from months ago where I'd built a huge Spanish empire where basically I controlled all of Western Europe as far as Germany. And yeah, it was actually a really great way to learn the game, was to start with and basically be extremely overpowered, and then not really have anything challenge me. I got to the end date shortly before we started recording, like an hour or two. Yeah, and I think just for that stuff, and just for that, it doesn't have the human drama of Crusader Kings 2, but it's like some of its systems are just so engaging, and it's a weird thing because it's a much more, I would say, historical game than Crusader. Like Crusader Kings 2 is basically just like a random sandbox of crazy stuff, whereas Europa Universalis 4 is a little bit more sort of like it's so weird that stuff can happen in that game that is historically accurate completely by accident in a way.
So wait, so does it mean that like Europa Universalis 4 has less potential for alternate history?
No, because you can definitely take a country that was a footnote in his history and raise them to be a great power. It's a lot harder though, because especially if the country you're playing as is outside of Europe, because the starting technology bias to European countries is so powerful. Like it really does. It is
It's
kind
a little
of
true.
but yeah.
No, we cannot have that in this politically correct world.
It's still fun though in its way. Like I played as Japan for a while, and that was kind of fun. But yeah, that game is really sort of supposed to revolve around like the major European powers like Spain and Great Britain.
It's called Europa Universalis after all.
Exactly.
Like, Japano Universalis.
Yeah, Nippon Universalis.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic game. Like it was about the campaign length, like to go from the start date to the end date, turned out to be about 50 hours, which I would say is fairly similar to the length of a Crusader Kings 2 game from start to finish. Like you're micromanaging more stuff in Europa Universalis on a sort of like on a sort of like production level, but you're not doing as much micromanaging, because even in Crusader Kings 2, when you're sort of in a fairly stable position, like you're still micromanaging people, like who's my half brother going to marry that could potentially like get me an alliance or something. I don't know. There's not so much of that sort of stuff in Europa Universe, so you spend a lot more time with sort of just like letting time go past quickly to sort of get to the next big moment. But I've basically done nothing else. It's the only game I have to talk about this week, because apart from Animal Crossing a little bit, it's the only game I've played this week because it is absolutely just absorbing my time. I'm absolutely infatuated with it. I like it.
Why did you play the week before?
Sorry?
Why did you play the week before? No, nothing.
No.
Okay then.
I mean, I did talk about it last. Am I missing something?
No, I said, what did you play the week before? And then you were like,
Oh, what did I? Oh, okay. We should cut this bit.
No, that's fine. We need to make people laugh some more.
Well, I still want a game that's
Exactly.
all
Yeah.
We're fucking waiting,
Sorry,
man.
that kind of. Yeah. Never mind.
Launch the bombs.
Yes, definitely. I've been shelled quite. I'm shell shocked. Over here.
Dropping the bomb.
So after I gushed a little bit about Metroid Prime last week, are you actually going to try to play that again at some point?
Man, what a good game.
It's not going to get to the top of the list anytime soon. Like, there are too many games. Like I look at my Steam list now and think, gosh, I really should play Just Cause 2. And I only ever played 45 minutes of Hotline Miami, so I should spend more time with that.
None of those games are as good as Metroid Prime.
That's true.
Well, maybe in its day, but you know.
No, still today they're not as good as Metroid Prime.
Amazing. Like
Metroid Prime is like one of the like best Nintendo games of all time.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about this in sort of after our discussion on the podcast, and I sort of hit on a realization. I think maybe my problem with Metroid Prime is the idea of playing it's not an intense, like sort of very demanding first-person shooter. You've still got to play it on the fucking GameCube controller. Unless you have
play on the Wii if you wanted to.
I don't have one, so that would be a whole different.
Well, the GameCube controller is like fine. That's the problem.
Yeah, it uses a lock on.
Yeah, there's lock on targeting all that.
I don't know.
Yeah, I do wish that it could be played with a regular first-person shooter control scheme in some way. I think that would make the game I don't want to say better. I think that would improve the experience a little bit.
Doesn't it have like right stick look with those stupid little C stick?
Yeah, but Metroid Prime is already so damn close to perfect that that's not going to do much for it.
Make it a PC game. That'd be better.
That's what I suggested last week. That'll never happen.
Yeah, I don't mean to get into the PC elitism thing. I'm by no means a sort of the hardcore.
Well, if by PC elitism you mean like a fucking more powerful system is better, yeah, no shit. Of course PC is gonna be better.
Yeah, I'm very seriously thinking about how I'm going to go about upgrading this thing. Get a proper graphics card in there.
How are your specs? Didn't you have an i7?
Yeah, I've got my processor is absolutely fine, and I've got more 8 gigs is still more RAM than I need for what I'm going to use a PC for. But my graphics card is 3 or 4 years old. Like it chugged quite hard in the first couple of hours of Tomb Raider. Like it's just.
Yeah, Tomb Raider was pretty unoptimized though. Mine got hit pretty hard too. I had a 680.
I'm using an AMD card, and I had no problems with it.
Yeah, we're using an AMD card.
Yeah, I was messing around with chest effects.
Yeah, on NVIDIA, chest effects like fucking crushes your card, and even without it on, it's still hard.
Yeah, but I'm looking at what you posted in the doc about specs. A 460 8 gigs of RAM and a Core i7. I guess with a 460, I can assume that you have a fairly decent power supply. So, just put a 670 in there or a 770.
You have like some weird no-name motherboard though, right?
Yeah, but on Dell's.
Yeah, I don't know what one you need to buy for that. I guess you could ask Dell.
Yeah, I would need to, like you even suggested that I might go back and see if I can exactly what the spec of my motherboard is and maybe get a new.
You mostly just need the name, right? Because like if you I have an ASUS motherboard, so it's easy for me to go, oh yeah, I need a Titan for ASUS, right? And then it's tailored to my motherboard, but.
I actually had a really hard time just finding the specific like brand or whatever for my motherboard.
Yeah, it might be some weird like Dell-owned generic brand, right? That's the problem.
You don't need to match graphics cards to motherboards. You just have to make sure it's got the right slot.
Yeah, which is why different motherboards.
You said you had an ASUS motherboard and had to have an ASUS card or something like that. I don't know. Don't know exactly what you meant.
That's when you buy the Titan, you can buy it for ASUS. You can buy it for like whatever else.
So yeah, I had a couple of questions in the doc that didn't go answered. Like, I'm still looking into this thing and sort of seeing which way I want to go with it. Like, we want to get a GDDR5 graphics card, or
they should all be GDDR5 now.
Well, I was looking at price stuff, and you can get the ASUS GTX 680. 2 gigabytes for £280. So if I was going at something like a bit less crazy than some of the high end stuff, like, then that would probably be a viable card, right? I mean, I'm still very new to this stuff, right?
Yeah, as far as I know, 680. Like, I'm not quite an expert. I know some of these things fairly decently, but I'm not an expert. 680 is a really good card, though.
Yeah, it's definitely what. It's definitely what I'm thinking about.
You play the Titan pretty fucking nice.
Well, I mean, a Titan is $1,000.
We've talked about
it's so expensive in Europe. Why is it so much more expensive? What the fuck?
Yeah. In United States dollars, the price on Amazon UK for the Titan with the 6 gigabyte DDR5 in US dollars is $12.50.
Yeah, what the fuck? And that's like not with tax, right?
No, it's with tax.
Okay, that's not that as bad then. Because mine with tax was what, $11.50. So.
I think that's the confusing thing about US versus UK pricing. Is in UK everything includes tax.
Oh really, man? That'd be so much easier. I wish mine.
Because we don't have a bunch of states that all have their own policies on tax. So
yeah,
I mean,
pay the same amount of tax.
Canada's like by province. It's fucking stupid.
Anyway, I have an HD 7870 and it runs. Everything I've thrown at it on high, and it sticks to 60 almost all the time. So a 680 is a lot more powerful than it. If you bought a 680, I don't think you'd have to buy another graphics card for 2 or 3 years at least.
Yeah, I've got a decent amount of money to spend. Like, I'm not like looking to be on a super tight budget. I mean, I did have to just re-up my car insurance the other day, but
we are getting close to 3-hour cast.
Just going to have a quick look at the news list again. It's not on the news list, but Elder Scrolls Online officially confirmed to have a monthly subscription fee,
and I'm officially confirmed to not be getting it then.
I think the majority of the internet is with you on that one. There's like everybody just wiped their hands of the whole thing. It's just like
even Final Fantasy XIV, which is like a surprisingly great game, and like I really really enjoy it. I don't think people are going to play a lot of that because of the subscription fee. Like I'll pay it because I don't mind, but I'm sure as hell not going to pay for fucking Elder Scrolls Online.
GameStop amazing how I confused the two. I'm sorry. I was trying to get through things quickly.
Yeah,
Did
sure.
you have something else to say? I'm just gonna say that GameStop decided to start reselling Metroid Prime Trilogy
that's pretty
again
dirty.
for $80.
Yeah.
Oh, only 80, not 90 this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just have like, it's fucking ridiculous. Like if they just sold them,
It's
to
not-
pay $90.
Like it's great that they're
Fucking
selling it
pieces of
again.
shit. Like, this
It's
is
great that they're
scumbag
selling it again,
territory.
and they're exploiting people though, and that's
Yeah, it's just gross.
Yeah.
It's real fucking.
We did kinda-
welcome to
we did
America,
kinda-
right? But whatever.
We did kind of talk about some of this stuff last week, but it does, bear.
Hey, you know what? If you really want to play
here's
Metroid Prime Trilogy and you don't want to pay GameStop, there are ways to do it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Wow.
I tried to emulate that.
But
Metroid Prime Trilogy is
technically-
actually one of the hardest to emulate Wii games.
Yeah, I know.
Still, but you
I
know,
tried
like,
doing it recently, and it was.
Well, you
it
only
had
need to do
issues.
3, right? Because
You
like,
should-
let's be honest, 1 and 2 are just he's playing on GameCube. It's fine.
You should just look on eBay, like just look everywhere else, not GameStop, because
Yeah.
technically they're not doing anything wrong, and they
No,
have
no,
the
it's not like
and,
illegal.
and they have the right to
Moral.
charge this type of cash, but that does not make them complete scumbags, because they are fucking complete scumbags for doing it.
It's the same as people
But-
who buy like 20 copies of a limited edition thing and resell it on eBay for 5 times the price the same day. It's like scalpers. It's fucking gross.
There's someone that goes and buys like 50 consoles on the day of release
Yeah.
and sells them to parents at like.
It's like
Speaking of which-
flip them before Christmas or some shit. Like, ugh, it's gross.
Speaking of which, how do we feel about the console launch lineups?
I don't know. I'm gonna buy a PS4, probably not at launch, but
Killzone
exactly
Killzone Shadowfall. I read in the Game Informer, and from what I looked around the internet, they seem to be trying some at least slightly different things with it. They seem to be wanting to make it an open, like a linear open shooter, kind of in the vein of Crisis 1. If it delivers on that promise, I am definitely interested in that.
it sounds
It's
like
actually
what's
as
the
open as
shooter on
the
a
first
console.
Crisis.
I don't know if it's going to be that open, but they said they wanted it to be more open and less of a super linear shooter.
I will buy a
Um,
PS4 when the first big JRPG hits, assuming that there is. I mean, if there's a bundle, I get that. If there isn't, I'll just buy the big JRPG in the
Which will
PS4.
probably be like week 2, presumably.
I hope so, but there hasn't been anything that's really announced yet. So
Yeah, I would be shocked if I actually bought one of the consoles this year. This totally seems like upgrade the PC, play the multi-platform games on that. And then the thing is, then if you buy it sort of like midway through 2014, you've got those console exclusives like saved up.
Right? You pick it up later. anytime.
I don't need to be part of the zeitgeist. Like I don't need to
Well,
be
yeah,
part of.
what fucking it's not like Gone Home is gonna be on the fucking PS4, right? So
Oh god, what are the Xbox launch titles?
Well, I've got the list here.
Titanfall.
If Final Fantasy 15 came,
Titan-
I'd buy that instantly. I hope they do a bundle with that. Actually, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
What?
Okay, if I bought an Xbox One, it would probably end up being Forza Motorsport 5. Probably the game I'd get.
Oh yeah,
In my
all
case,
these other ones are either uninteresting or
yeah. Even
put them on PC.
even the less than stellar like Forza. Like I didn't love Forza 4, but that was still a fun game.
I could
I
probably
wouldn't buy
get
a
it
fucking
for,
console for Forza though. Like it's a good game,
No.
but
No, me
like
neither.
basing
I
on
love
launch titles. I would probably get Dead Rising 3 and Loco Cycle.
Yeah, look.
if I had an
so-
Xbox One, I'd probably buy a handgun, a single bullet, and the courage to do what's right.
dude.
That's terrible.
Then I fucking record my Kinect.
Yeah,
Watch
it
that
is
NSA.
worth.
Just kidding, I'm not in America, so.
The Kinect would just call 911 on you.
Where's the
NSA,
song
I
of
do,
this?
I do want to make this comment that one of the developers of Gone Home made an amazing comment on Twitter where he said, Gone Home is secretly a horror game. Katie is an NSA agent, which I thought was really good. Katie, of course, is the girl you play as. Spoilers.
What are the PS4 launch titles? Haven't they announced those?
Knack, I think.
They did. It's
Oh,
on the
shit.
fucking. It wasn't Giant Bomb.
Here's one on IGN, confirmed day one. That's what they're saying.
Yeah,
IGN's
they
saying.
didn't they do it at their games?
Sports. Warframe. That's a cool game. I really like Warframe.
We should play
It's
more
PC already,
Warframe.
though. Yeah, we should play more Warframe sometime. It's a good game. I wonder how it'll work on PS4. Pretty good.
Yeah, probably.
As long as you still have my
That game
sweet
seems
eye. Love
to
the
be
fucking knives, man.
made for gamepad.
I'm not seeing anything on here that I really give a fuck about.
No, I feel the same way. Yeah,
Knack is the most interesting game for me on launch that I want to play.
Yeah.
Knack looks fun. I mean, I just like all my trust is in Cerny. Cerny is a genius. He can do whatever the fuck he wants.
That game doesn't look like that game doesn't really.
It doesn't look. It looks like a kid game, right? But listening to Cerny talk about it really convinced me that it maybe is something else. Because he talks about, like, designing the difficulty to be easy to play, but like to play on hard, requires you to be a very hardcore kind of intense gamer. Whatever. Cerny is fucking brilliant, so I trust him.
I would probably play all of these launch games, the new Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs, and I'm gonna get that on PC probably.
Yeah.
I have zero interest in playing Assassin's Creed 4.
Yeah, after the reception
3.
After the reception that 3 got, and after not really caring about 2 and Brotherhood, I'm not.
I really liked 2, and I
What's
got
the one that was before Brotherhood but after 2 or Revelations?
Revelations after Brotherhood.
Revelations after
Brotherhood I thought was pretty good, but it was like the same game as the other 2, so I only played that one.
Yeah, Revelations is Assassin's Creed 2, 3.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Brotherhood was pretty good.
So, I really like the first Crisis, and there haven't been many shooters like that. And maybe I'm hoping for too much, and I probably am, but I want to see if Shadowfall is that kind of open.
Have you ever played Stalker?
I have.
They're kind of like that.
Crisis 1 has a certain it has that highly produced, sheen on it. It looks really nice. Stalker is I've played it some and it's fun, but it has, you can definitely tell it's an
Eastern European semi-indie game.
From the Eastern, didn't have
much. It's janky and it's impenetrable. Well, not totally impenetrable, but it's
that's not hard.
It's penetrable completely.
It is not impenetrable.
Yeah, it's really not that hard at all.
I found myself fairly easily perturbed by the first hour or so I played, but
I'll tell you what perturbed me is those sucker things, the invisible sucker things. They scare the shit out of me. What are they called again? They're called I
didn't play much of it.
I don't know. They're invisible sucker things. They're scary. Whatever.
Yeah, but
take my word.
I just liked how open and weird the first Crisis crazy the first Crisis could get, and the stuff you could do. Because it was so open.
Do we care about Origin offering refunds?
Nope.
It's kind of crazy.
It's interesting, I guess, but whatever.
It is interesting, yeah.
I'm interested to see what happens when people start buying a game, beating it in 6 hours, and returning it. I wonder what that'll happen.
Yeah.
This crazy how.
But you can do that with a lot of EA games.
Yeah, I know.
They're doing it seems like they're really trying to get these reputation points. With the Humble Origin bundle and now this.
Yeah.
They need people to get on Origin. This might just be a shot in the dark, but maybe Origin isn't getting all that many members or isn't doing as well for them as they'd hoped.
I can't imagine it would be doing particularly well if they started offering stuff like this.
Yeah, this seems like them trying to get as many people on Origin as they can. The problem with this is when you offer something like refunds and you get a bunch of people on board and then you take that away, which I have no doubt that they want to take this away somehow, then they get pretty mad.
Maybe. Yeah, we'll see how this stuff.
Why not just use Steam? Why pour
exactly,
all this...
that's the thing. Is they're trying to win this hearts and minds battle against sort of.
Not really. It's is the thing is there's sense for the game to not have for Origin for them not to use Steam because they get less cash from using Steam. It's a sensible thing.
Well, they put all this money and all this time into Origin, and seemingly it isn't doing as well as they hoped or as well as they'd wished. I mean,
yeah,
is the cost of selling your games on Steam, which can't be that much because practically everybody does it.
But they also don't really have a choice.
Yeah.
Why not? Why?
It's not the cost is very high.
At this
I
point,
know guys who put games on Steam, and it's not like it's super hard.
Just looking from the outside in, it seems like Steam has made it or at least is trying to make it as easy as possible to get your games on Steam.
Greenlight.
Yeah.
Well, Greenlight,
okay, yeah, that's
Greenlight, but yeah, it's not too hard to get on Steam. As long as you have like a competent fucking game, and even if you don't have a competent game, sometimes you can still get on. The Warzy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fact that this shit even survives Steam is just.
Yeah, I just don't know why you would want why you would have Origin. Origin is a fine program, not great, but it works.
It's a fine idea and it makes sense on paper, but whether people actually want to use it as an alternative to Steam is a tough proposition.
Yeah. I mean, plus, like, I'm probably a bad example. I've used Steam since it came out with the original Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
We're ready to wrap up. And like, I've got like 520 games on Steam. I'm not switching platforms any fucking time soon. So.
I am unreasonably invested in Steam.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I mean, I'll buy a game. I'll get a game on Origin if it requires it. If
I bought
it's cheap,
on Origin.
Or if they're giving away free $20 voucher codes.
I was so sure that I was going to buy Battlefield 3, and then I didn't. And I'm pretty sure that Origin
the
and
Humble
sort of
Bundle. The Humble Bundle is sitting around for $5, and it has Battlefield.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, if you really want Battlefield 3, which you probably don't,
so worth it.
But.
But look at all the other games, and it gives you Steam key. It gives you keys for both Origin and Steam separately.
At the same time, though, I heard that campaign sucks ass. So
it's a modern shooter. Of course, the fucking campaign sucks.
Yeah, but especially bad. Like even whatever.
I don't want to say it's not especially
even worse
bad.
It's
not
bad. Like, I don't know.
What would you compare?
It's a modern.
Yeah. Like what? Because I don't know. Like Black Ops 2? No, because that campaign is fucking amazing.
Yeah, I've heard. I never played them, but I hear reasonably good things, like on and off, about Call of Duty campaigns, and just nobody had anything good to say about the Battlefield 3 campaign.
It's pretty bad. Okay. It's pretty bad.
Which is a shame, considering how much I liked the campaign in the first Bad Company.
Yeah, that was a crazy good campaign.
That was a crazy good campaign.
And Bad Company 2 was also really good and surprisingly well written.
Yeah, sure.
Like, I mean, it's not brilliant, but a lot of that writing in Bad Company 2 is pretty good. It's got this. It's just slightly off. I don't want to say off kilter, but like.
I would say irreverent.
Yeah. Slightly jokey.
Yeah. As a counter to that, the super serious, super dire, like the world is falling apart around us. Like
that's what Battlefield 3 is. Battlefield 3 is pretty bad. But like Bad Company 2's campaign is pretty varied. You even had that extremely memorable section where you had to run from building to building as the snow was making you colder. Which I thought was great.
Yeah, I should play some more of that game. But we should wrap this up.
Yeah. Anybody have anything else to say?
No.
I like cheese.
I like cheese.
Nope. Bikini girls, machine guns, etc.
You should play Metroid Prime.
Metroid Prime's pretty fucking good. There's a machine gun in that. There's no bikini girls.
You guys keep saying it, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I'm sorry.
Well, you should play Dark Souls too. Why don't you just like sit down one day, load up Dark Souls with one hand, Metroid Prime with the other, and you'll be good to go.
No, seriously, which should I do first? Because I have been thinking about
Dark Souls.
Yeah.
No.
I thought
it's like, do you want to play an amazing game, or do you want to play one of the greatest games of all time?
Planescape Torment and Mother 3 and Fallout 2.
Well, I'm not gonna play Mother 3. Let's just get that out there. Because I have to like torrent it or emulate it or whatever, and fuck that shit.
Oh no!
Considering the game never came out of Japan, that's a really stupid statement.
Just like make a promise.
Yeah, I know it is, but I've made peace with that. So, whatever.
Whatever.
Lose out in a great game.
Yeah. Okay.
Metroid Prime is.
You are literally the only person who loses.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah.
I'm shaking on my fucking head right now.
That's fine, man. You like Skyrim. It's not like his taste is gonna like somehow become even worse.
Exactly. It's not like I have a palate that can appreciate the refinedness of Mother 3.
I like Skyrim a lot now. Whatever. Let's wrap this up. Atlas and Nix,
Hello.
Ghost, and me,
Goodbye, Amy.
Believer. Goodbye.
Bye.
Later.
Play Dark Souls.
And that's that.
If you want to email us at giantbombcommunitypodcast@gmail.com or post the forum thread.
Yeah, that's all.